guys, welcome to the Warrior Shrine. This game's out. It's exciting. Can you tell? It's actually super hype. I'm really, really hyped for this game. We got a list. I've got notes this time. I never have notes. Temp has notes always. I've got them. So notes. When you don't have notes, I can't tell that you don't have notes. So it still works out excellent. But we both got notes, and that's Temp, by the way, as you guys can, I'm sure, tell. And we've also got Cyborg here with us. What's up, dude?
It's your boy.
Fucking damn, keeping it dank in here, dude.
Danky Kang.
It's there's so much to fucking talk about here. Right up top, don't talk about lore. It's like, I know it's really hard. We're probably gonna do it anyway, but like, I liked Hal in the story mode.
As did I. I was a fan.
I really didn't see that coming. That came out of nowhere. Excuse me.
Hypocrite.
I talked about lore. Sorry.
Why did you do that?
That was like a hiccup. Like, I couldn't even keep that one in there.
You didn't even make it like 10 seconds.
I didn't. Oh god. But fuck it. It's out. It's already out there. I liked Hal Jordan in this story. I was surprised because I was not looking forward to his performance.
I believe your exact words were, you wanted him to die in the last game. I think you said something along those lines before.
Absolutely. Like, well, none of the bad guys died in that game. So it's like, that's a little weird. But especially him, I just don't like Hal. That's what it comes down to. But in this game, it's like, okay, I like it. But I like it because of, like... I like it how, like, nobody gives a shit. Nor should they. He, like, shows up and starts talking about his problems. Everybody's like, shut the fuck up. We got actual problems. We got another alien trying to take over the planet. I don't give a fuck what they made you do to get that shit back. It's like, but no, I appreciate it, though, because it's true. It's like, don't try to talk about your shit. You were a bad motherfucker. No one cares. Like, we got actual problems to deal with. Keep that shit to yourself. If you want to be useful, cool. If you die, we're not going to be sad because you're a dick. But, you know, you can help out for now. It turned out good. I liked it that way.
Indeed.
And, you know, Steve Bloom surprised me. He did all right.
I had a feeling he was going to be... I never really doubted the Bloom. I was pretty confident he was going to be
good. He's solid. Yeah, I had less faith in Hal Jordan than I did Steve Bloom, certainly. Fuck you guys for making me talk about lore. Let's talk about, okay, have you guys heard about this shit, the secret shit about the super minigames?
I did.
This is crazy. This is some Ed Boon sly shit that you don't hear about nowhere unless you go on, like, some kind of random ass hentai Discord and they're talking about it. Like, I didn't know about this. Have you checked it out? Have you tried it?
No, I definitely haven't tried. I'm not even really sure what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
I don't really ever want to I don't want to mash buttons. Like,
dude, it's one of those things. I don't know yet how I feel about actually being there, but it doesn't matter. It's in there. So, especially for, like, you know, we're going to talk about Combo Breaker in a minute, and this is very important. Like, this is a thing that could change the tide of a match. A little bit, like, but it's not crazy. It might be cool. Cyborg, have you heard anything about this?
I did hear about it. I just like how you introduced it. Have you guys heard about this one? Have you heard about it? Like you're Jay Leno or something. You heard about this one? Well,
I haven't talked to you guys about it. I just read it. I just read up on it.
No, I'm just saying.
Right.
Anyways, yes, I've heard about it. I told Temp when I found out. I wasn't sure how to do it at first, but apparently you got to press like 3 or something like that, as certain hits are done during the actual thing. So it's got to coincide with actual hits during the animation. So, like, for Ivy, when the big plant's chomping down, as it's chomping, you got to press 3 at the exact time. So it's very exact, and the defender can press 3 at the exact same time to cancel it out, or if the attacker's not doing it, then they take less damage, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's an odd choice, but I don't really know how I feel. On one end, I agree with Temp that I don't think it's necessary, and I don't really care for it. I don't see the point in it. On the other end, I mean, I guess it could be just another, you know, competitive thing, giving yourself just the slight edge and timing. Fighting games are all about timing. And this is no exception.
It's true. It's about
gives you something to do, I guess, during the super move.
That's the important thing. I was dicking around with it right before we started recording here, and I recorded some data that I thought was interesting. Yeah, like you said, if you press heavy, if you're the attacker, if you press heavy like right when you're attacking, I found it was a little better to like press it and hold it for just a second, like a split second before the attack actually hit, and that was for both defender and attacker. Yeah, it'll give you a slight boost, and it'll show up at the top like a little shield, or a little blue shield if you defended well, or a red shield if you attacked, if you did it with the attack. But no, the more I've been digging around with it here, the more that I kind of like it, because I don't like supers or X-rays, just because of how historically with NRS games they've been not super useful in like even a slightly more competitive setting, unless you're like, well, no, because like you rarely ever get to the point where you can use it to close out a round. There's always been better ways to use your meter. If you use it in other ways, you can do more damage, you can get more out of it. But supers in this game are already pretty good. They're not entirely pointless as far as damage goes, but
yeah, I'd agree with that. I think supers are a lot better, because this game has a lot more gaps, and the gaps are a lot more obvious than they were in MKX, and the supers do more damage. So they're actually like a genuine defensive tool. Plus, you build meters so quickly.
You do, yeah.
That if you have zoning tools and you're near the edge of a match, and you want the life lead in the second bar, do a super. Why not?
And this mechanic, like, I hope they explore something. It's touchy, but I like the concept of it, because fucking like stopping the match for a fucking YouTube video is annoying to me. Like, I don't like it. This is a video game. Don't show me shit. Let me play shit. And putting a little bit more of putting a competitive element inside the super is a good idea. It shouldn't be free. If they hit it like it's a video game. Make it somewhat like of a game, instead of a video. And it's good. And this is a good example, because it's pretty fucking precise. It's pretty tight. You gotta be in there, so it rewards skill over just dumb. Like, if you're mashing, you might do okay, but not great. A good example here is Supergirl's super does 421.38 damage to my Robin anyway, and this is base stats. Normally, without any difference, and I blocked a few of the ones I defended, and it went from 421 to it was 415, which is that's not negligible. That's something. It's a little bit, but every little bit counts.
That's a pixel, that could be the difference between a match. So for sure, that is significant.
Robin super does normally 466.55 damage, and me hitting it, getting a few extra hits, the highest I've gotten it to is 480. So 466 to 480, that's not negligible. I think it's interesting. That it was in there, but they didn't really say that much about it. And I think it's interesting of an idea that I hope they consider a little more moving forward. But like I said, not too much, but just a little something to.
That's almost the weirdest part of all, is they didn't tell us about it. So I'm wondering how much other weird shit is in this game that I may like or dislike. That's kind of the most nervous part of it all.
It is. It's like it's definitely makes you feel a little shaky about it, but it's also it's exciting, because it's like, it's nice to not have everything fucking mapped out day one. It's something that you just don't get anymore. Like when you used to, even with fighting games, like the more you grind out, like it wasn't till later when you found out crazy shit, and then sometimes years down the road you grind out and find crazy shit just because of the lack of communication before fucking threads and discords and weird shit. So I do like that they're like slipping things in there that are not huge, that are not game breaking, that are not crazy, but it's a little something for people that want to dig. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with the idea, but we'll see. I'm open to it, might be the best way to put it. We'll see how it goes. It's nothing huge. It's nothing that's going to ruin the game for me. I still love the game. I don't see that changing, but you know what it actually is? You could pull off something that's like, I don't know what it would do, but if someone like in tournament pulled off because it's very much like a parry. If you could parry every hit of someone's super, because it'll show up at the top every time you do it. That would be sick. It's not easy to do. I'm just from trying it. I'm like that would be difficult. But if that happened, I don't know. It's kind of sick.
For the spectator, it'd be tight. I think for the commentators to actually address that it'd be interesting. I would enjoy watching it. If and this is important, if it's hard to do, and it just depends on how interactive both players are. If it's just a memorization game and the other player has no role, which it sounds like they do. It sounds like the other player can negate the defensive inputs from.
Yeah, it's both of them.
It depends. If there's skill involved, then of course it's going to be tight. I still don't like it just because I don't want to press button. I don't want to do quick time motions during a fucking super. I don't even want to do supers. But since we're at that bridge,
that's a good thing. I don't love supers anyway. But like I said, but no, to negate this, like it really is like a parry, a third strike parry, straight up. It's You learn your timings and you do all that. Like you're not going to negate the damage like you would in third strike though, like not that much. But beyond that, it functions the exact same for both players. You hit heavy. You hit heavy right when the thing lands. You defend to get some of the damage, and you can inflict some. It's both the guys are doing it. I dig it because, like you said, if you're gonna have supers, something like this, I feel it makes it better because again, you could just sit down the controller and the game is taken over for a little while there. It's like a fatality mid-match or something. Like, I don't like it. Keep gameplay going while the match is going on. But that's just me. This is the thing that's gonna change with time. Like, most people probably don't even know about this shit yet, and especially Doug to see exactly how much difference you can really make. So this is something to keep our eyes on. And like I said, if there's any fucking of this shit going on in tournament that we end up seeing, that'll be surprising and hype. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and we'll find out soon. Combo Breaker is now.
It's now.
Yeah, Combo Breaker is right now.
It's the most wonderful time of the year for some people. It's exciting for everybody. This is this is the first big tournament of the year, right?
I don't know. I mean, final round was important, and
did that already happen?
Yeah, I think final round already went. I think it did, right? Okay, now I'm second guessing myself hard. Let me check this shit. 2017.
Listen, final round goers, I didn't mean to fucking do like a subtle knock against you there. No disrespect.
Yeah, it was March 12th. So yeah, final round.
Okay. Sorry, final round.
So we're in the final three. We're in Combo Breaker, CEO, and Evo territory. So that's going to be really interesting. That's going to be really fun.
And those are the ones that everyone always says that like those are the most fun ones. Just even if you're going there as a spectator, like everyone's always talking about how fun those three are.
And this is the first time I'm going to be watching a major tournament live in probably 2 years. I have not been able to watch Top 8 Day live because of my schedule. And I've had weekends off for 2 months. So, I'm going back to my original schedule pretty soon, but it's just so awesome to be able to watch a fucking, like, non-EVO tournament on the days that it happens.
It is.
Thank God I have a 3-day weekend. Oh my gosh, work has been so crazy lately. But, so yeah, that's going to make life really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing Combo Breaker this year.
I did that for MKX when it came out. I got to watch Combo Breaker live. And that the one. That dude pulled it out with Raiden, right?
Yeah, Dizzy beat Sonic Fox. Sonic Fox has
Dizzy.
never won Combo Breaker historically.
Did I hear this right? Dizzy, he's working for NRS now, though, right?
He is, yeah. I
so
think
he can't enter tournaments, right?
Like ever. I don't think Dizzy can ever go into tournaments now.
Yeah,
the testers aren't even allowed to go into tournaments until after EVO.
Which is, which is good. He's in 16-bit territory, it sounds like.
Dizzy is.
Yeah, Dizzy
is. I don't know if I agree about the others. I get Combo Breaker, but it's gonna suck not having Chris G in a fucking top, 16 for Injustice. Like, I really loved his Green Arrow in the last game, so that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be interesting to see how this stuff does turn out once, like you said, just with the testers, once they come around to being able to enter the tournament. This game is gonna be. I'm so excited to see how this game evolves. It's super interesting, just from like the tools that are on the table and available to players. It feels way more exciting than the first one did, than MKX even did, just to watch. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Let's talk about that though. Let's talk about what's exciting and what's going on with this game. Temp, what would you like to dive into first?
I would say we should jump into our characters. And
Okay.
did y'all want? Okay, how do y'all want to do this? Do y'all want to rotate? Like we each go over a character we play, and then we each circle around again, and then we each circle around again, or?
Well, I mean, I've got one character that I play. This is just how I do.
He's like the person that gets one big present for Christmas, and everybody else has like several.
But I don't care because this is the only one that I only have eyes for you, fucking Robin. Like that's just how it goes. But I can't do it. Like Tim, you played my Sub-Zero and MKX enough to know that it was shitty. It was shitty. It was the scrubbiest fucking
I got
shit.
bodied by that shitty Sub-Zero. That Sub-Zero was a test of faith. It was, oh man, it was so hard.
But it was lame. It was scrubby. It was something. Whatever you want to call it. Like,
it was still good. Like, I mean, the matchup was hard. Cryomancer does not do well against Grandmaster, but
I had Ice Clones. I had Ford 2-3 or whatever it was. Like, that's pretty much the extent of my.
You can't remember your 2-input bread and butter was Grandmaster Sub-Zero.
But that's what happens. Like, I can't really do two characters well. If I tried to get two, same thing with MK9 when I did Sub-Zero and Smoke. My Smoke was fucking scrub tier. I could do really well online just with. He was a noob killer. Beyond that, no, my Smoke was trash.
On multiple levels, by the way, he demolished scrubs and then he bodied noob like 8-2. So yes,
that was Andy too.
Yeah.
That was really Andy in MK9 because damn, Sub-Zero versus Noob Saibot was a. Oh boy, that's another lifetime ago, man. Fucking this game. No, it's the same thing. There's still characters I want to play, but there's so much more I have to do with this one character. I can't even focus on that because this guy is fucking a lot. But we'll get there. Why don't we start with Cyborg talking about his character?
So starting off with what I do like about, we'll start main. You want to go main or?
Yeah, let's go main.
Okay. Ivy, I really enjoy Ivy quite a bit. I think at first I struggled with her the first night because I was trying to play her more zoner. So I was relying heavily on the tendrils coming up or the vines coming up from the ground. And then when I had Yoshi out, I would specifically just try and zone even harder. Temp suggested that I should be rushing down when I have the Yoshi out. As I'm trying not to die.
Are you all right over? Are you okay?
We're good.
Do you have a Yoshi in your throat?
Yes, that is happening. He's trying to tongue my throat right now.
That's such an interesting trait decision for them. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll get to that as well. But what I do really like about her, though, is once I got the hang of her, I never really played a rushdown. Well, I mean, generally, if a character has zoning opportunities and rushdown, I'm going to play zoning until they get in, and then I'm going to rush them down. Whereas Ivy, I play kind of the opposite. I'll rush them down as my primary line of offense, and then if I feel like, okay, I've done enough rushing down, I want to kind of mix it up, or I feel like I have the life lead enough that where I can kind of try and mess with them, or they have zoning tools and I want to kind of mess with them as well, then I'll start using the vines a little bit. But either way, I'm still trying to get in because it's all about rush down, putting the pressure on, the low overhead mix-ups, and the corner pressure with her. And I've never been good at corner pressure, but with her, I've actually managed to do decently. Still not great by any means. There's still a lot of potential there left on the table that hopefully I'll be able to, obtain and fulfill down the line. But right now, I can at least, when I get somebody in the corner, I can do some damage. Whereas with Katana, I could not. Every time I'd get somebody in the corner, unless I was doing her, back three or whatever it was just to be an asshole, her only overhead attack, because she didn't have low overheads in combos. She just had her overhead fan from above thing that was just a one and done. With Ivy, it's not the case. I can do a lot of corner pressure. I can do, just in general, a lot of rushdown, which I enjoy immensely with her. And then, once you build up her trait, then you can throw down Yoshi and the mind games get even further. Then you have your opponent on their back foot, and they have to kind of figure out where they want to go. And when I fight Temp, usually it's not like, oh, I'm just going to completely retreat and do nothing. It's more like he retreats, but at the same time, he's looking for that one opportunity to score a hit on Ivy, because that's an instantly knocking her out of her trait, and it has to reset at that point. So, I mean, it's not complete shutdown, but at the same time, I don't know, it's just a very interesting dynamic. So I'm really digging the character. I was very worried going into the game that because everyone that played her said she was tricky and that she just did not feel comfortable. And I felt every bit of that the first night, and I got a headache because when I was trying to play Temp Online and Redman Online, I was getting super frustrated because she was just not clicking with me. But as soon as I changed it up to more Rushdown based, it really started working out, and I'm having a blast. I'm having just as much, if not more, fun with her than I've ever had with any character. It's not all great though. Her stance that she can go into with the yo-yo, she loses all mobility. She can't dash out of it. She can't move at all. She's stuck in place, and you got to press down, down 1 to even activate it. And then at that point, you have to press up to cancel out of it, which is pretty quick to cancel out of it, but it feels awkward. As soon as you're in stance and somebody starts putting pressure on you and they're coming at you or they throw a projectile at you, it feels really weird to have to press up and then be able to move. So that feels a little odd. I would like that changed maybe down the road. I don't need it to be great. I'm not saying she should be able to walk around freely with that thing, because that thing can be very useful to mess with people, because the low version of it, where she kicks it at her opponent's feet, which is an awesome animation, that is very quick. I feel like I haven't checked the frame data on it, but that's very quick, and it can definitely catch somebody off guard when they're not used to it. So I just try and break it out sparingly, but yeah, that feels a little bit odd. And the only other thing about her that feels a little odd is, I mean, she doesn't have any wake-ups. Not every character does, from my understanding, but I don't know, it just feels really odd to me that when I'm waking up, her only wake up option is her super, unless we're using abilities. Then she could use her slide and stuff like that, but I haven't really used anything like that. So just based on her vanilla form, I have no wake up, so that's very awkward for me. I mean, it's also a blessing, because I'm the type of person that when I have a wake up and I'm getting knocked down, I'm gonna be the type of person that relies on that shit way too much, like, you know, wake up ass, flying ass from Katana. So not having that kind of helps me in a sense that I don't have that to kind of fall back on when I get frustrated. So it means I'm less likely to keep falling into a repetitive pattern like that that's predictable for the opponent. But at the same time, when I'm in a corner, I'm in trouble with her. So that's the rough part. But yeah, I just love everything about the character. Just even her, I love the style of a lot of her combos. They look very cool. They just have tons of style to them. I like her jumping too, which is like the little double bicycle kick looking thing as she's coming down. Just a lot of her movements I'm a big fan of. So yeah, I'm just really, really digging the feel of the character. Love her walk speed going forward. Like, when I don't even have to dash when I have Yoshi out, I can just walk. I can just walk, do my womanly power walk at my opponent. And it looks great. It's so intimidating.
It's very feminine.
Yeah, it's just very intimidating. It's good stuff. But yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's all I really have to say, unless you guys have questions about it. But like, I'm really digging her quite a bit. And in terms of tier, I don't expect her to be above mid tier at this point. I don't think she's low tier by any means, because I think she's got some good options to her, and she's very tricky. But at the same time, I definitely don't see her as top tier or anything like that. I feel like she's going to be mid tier as of now. But we'll see. I don't know patch-wise or buffs or nerfs what they could do to her. I mean, I hope they don't nerf anything about her. I don't see anything that's inherently broken about her. Maybe people get frustrated with her trait. I don't know, but I don't really know how you would nerf that, because all it takes is one hit on her and she's back to square one. So I'm not really sure. I mean, she gets out-zoned by anybody else that's decently zoning, like Fate or Deadshot especially. Even Green Lantern can be tough for her to have a zoning game against. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how the character evolves going forward with any, you know, patches coming up. I don't foresee her being one that gets a lot of changes, but I don't think she necessarily needs it either. I'd be happy with her if she stayed exactly the same. Even if I want to wake up, you know, if she never gets it, I'm okay with it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with her.
That reminded me of a couple of things I wanted to say. For like, yeah, we're gonna talk about how we feel about all these characters tier wise, how they stack up against other guys, but like, at least for me, Tim might have another opinion. Like, I'm not one of those people that at all want to talk about tier lists. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, but not. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, this character's top tier, this character's trash tier, this early. There's a lot of people that are doing that, and it's dumb. Like, no one knows the fucking matchups just yet. No one knows the tier list. People crying for nerfs already is... it's a separate topic, which we should probably talk about. That'll get rolled into, like, you know, the patch situation. Will it, won't it? But I heard what you guys said on the Nethercast episode, the first one you guys did after the game came out. You guys had similar opinions as that. Like, it's just too early for, like, definitive decisions like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. People talking day one how this Deadshot needs to be super nerfed. This character's whatever. Except Robin. You guys need to buff him. But everyone else in the game is just you know, chill out. Let's not do any knee-jerk buffs just yet. I've heard this rumor that NRS is not wanting to patch anything until after Evo. Unless there's something like crazy, like super infinites or whatever. I know Grodd has some sort of infinite, but it's not amazing from what I've heard.
I think he needs it, yeah. I kind of feel like he needs that infinite. So, yeah, we'll see. I could be wrong, but...
I haven't run into it, but I did play some Grodds that were, like, had some really good vortexes going on. But when I say really good, I mean, I was fucking pissed. But he does seem like that's a thing that he could benefit from because he doesn't have a lot of super great options. But I wanted to ask this before we started. How much like randoms have you guys played online? How many of those games, player or ranked, have you guys played online?
Quite a bit. Not a lot. Mostly I only played the first 2 days I played ranked, but in those first 2 days I played about 20 matches, 25 matches.
I haven't touched it. I did one ranked match just to get a challenge one day, one of like the first days, and won pretty decisively, but that was like opening night, so of course you're going to get people that don't know what the hell they're doing. But yeah, no, I don't have any real desire in ranked. I mean, I played ranked in MKX and MK9 a fair amount, not a lot, but a fair amount, and I don't really plan to do that with this game because I don't really take enjoyment in playing ranked. I've often said, and I said on the Nethercast as well, on my thoughts on ranked, is I don't like that you do one fight. I feel like that doesn't prove the better player. I like a set. Give me best to 2 out of 3 or even first to 3 in a ranked setting, then I'd be a little bit more open to it. I don't like the toxic community on how bitter people get when you play ranked. I mean, we had somebody on our Facebook group get hacked because he went into a King of the Hill and beat people's asses. So I mean, yeah, I'm not even kidding. He got hacked, and the guy messaged him saying bad things are coming, and then basically admitted that he hacked him. So then he reported him, and the guy got banned. So I mean, what are you gonna do? But it's just ridiculous.
GG's, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I just have no desire for that kind of stuff. And my experience with ranked in the past with MKX and MK9, you get some really close matches, but for the majority of it, it seems like you get either ranked up against somebody that's way better than you or somebody that you're way better. Like, it's very rarely matched based on skill from my experience. It's like a fucking Wild West out there. It's, you could face a guy that's has 3,000 games played and you've played the game like 30 matches on record. So I mean, I just don't think that their ranked is good, and I don't think it's matched based on skill. I think it's just, hey, everyone's out for themselves, and I don't think that's necessarily the best way to handle it. I believe in matching it up based on rank and skill, and then you work your way up. So basically, eventually you're going to hit that wall where, unless you get better, you're going to stick in that little bracket of people. And that's how, you know, shooting, you know, first-person shooters do it, etc., for a reason, because there's no reason why you should be facing a tournament player online if you're not at that level, nor should you be facing scrubs online if you're way better than that. That doesn't prove anything to me. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that environment. I do, if I was going to do randoms, it's either going to be in King of the Hill where I can, you know, keep playing the same people over, or it's going to be player matches. Where I can, you know, if we have a good set, we can both choose to rematch and keep going. Like, I've had some epic sets with people, 1st to 10, where we both were at 9-9, and getting to that 10th win was insane. So that to me is what I have fun. So I don't foresee myself playing a whole lot of ranked.
Okay. I've said the same thing. I've given my opinions before. I prefer ranked. I love ranked, and player matches can be fun too. But I like just getting like a fast, like rapid fire sampling of what's going on, what's the bullshit people are doing. And I mean, like you said, it is the Wild West, and if there's anything to exploit or bullshit or shenanigans going on, you're probably going to run into it sooner rather than later. And I don't know, just for me, like that's where I have the most fun. Their matchmaking isn't awesome. I feel like they're probably at this point prioritizing connection over skill levels of any sort, because it still does feel like it's pretty random as far as what skill level you might be getting. But honestly, like, I would rather play a good connection over a amazing player any day, because if I lose to a bad connection, nothing like sours me on a game more than that. I don't want to feel like I lost because of outside bullshit. But yeah, I don't want to say I prefer ranked, but I might prefer ranked. It's where it's my thing. It's, I mean, you know, I like doing other stuff too.
Sure.
Yeah, just that random stuff. Like, I like being surprised and like, okay, cool, gotcha. Let's check out next time. And it's
who's mashing
it's
buttons?
It's a really. I am grinding like a bitch over here. I didn't say this up front either. Listen, listeners. If any of you guys look, I've been on a quest for the dick stick, and I haven't found it. So my game isn't complete yet.
I know how that goes.
I'm trying to fix it.
I'm still trying to get the Scarecrow Plague Mask, and I know how it. I mean, obviously, the what you're looking for is more detrimental to the overall game for you than a fucking cosmetic item, but for me. But yeah, I don't. Following up on your thoughts on ranked, like, I don't disagree with anything that you said. There is value in ranked, and I've had fun with ranked. So, I mean, it's not like there isn't fun to be had. It's just like, what I have most fun with the game is when Temp and I, or me and you, or whoever, do a set of, 30 matches, 20 matches, 10 matches. I like learning a matchup to the point where I know what my opponent's doing, they know what I'm doing, see who can keep adapting, and who can best each other when they know what they're going up against. The reason why
I got an ability.
Nice.
Sorry.
The random factor, like the random factor to me, when I'm facing a character that I'm not used to going up against, they're likely gonna beat me because it's just shit that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. If they've played the matchup more than I've played against that character, then that, to me, that's already like I'm going in fighting an uphill battle, and I don't really like that. I like battling it out multiple times, learning what each other's doing, and then trying to fucking. Because that's when I feel like you get the closest matchups. The ranked, I don't know. I guess maybe I haven't had the best experiences with those.
It is ranked. Ranked is just like these motherfucking boxes, man. It's random. It's random as shit. You never know what's gonna get out there. I've been lucky enough thus far in Injustice to have. Definitely the bulk of them have been close, which is fun. But it also. I mean, it makes sense. The sampling is at its biggest right now, probably.
Sure.
Because the game just came out.
Right, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it's the whole... That's what's so great about this game. Like, it's just whatever you like, there's something here for you. And Injustice 2 is doing it better than any other fighting game. Ever, maybe. As far as, like, how do you want to play, dude? Do you want to play ranked and get fucking, teabagged and shit? Which, by the way, fucking Injustice 2 teabagging is honorable teabagging almost. Still not, but at least if they're doing it, they're like putting themselves at such huge risk. It's like, wow, you must be really confident. I'm gonna come over there and shove this sword right down your stupid,
Nobody drops a deeper bag than Swamp Thing.
He is
actually dipping. He is dipping. Like, he is going in like a cup of fucking tea. Like, it is. He's legitimate, and
he could. Well, that's funny because he's Swamp Thing, so he could actually, have tea for junk.
Yeah.
If you want to
just be an actual
he can
bag.
make you. He could fucking make you tea. Weird.
So we were talking about.
Oh, but there's also if you like. No, well, yes, but if you like ranked, there's that for you. But if you just want to like go do the AI battles, have you guys done any of those?
I mean, I've used the AI loadouts to go through endless towers and stuff just to play for me, but no, I haven't done it where like I set a team out and then go face other people's teams. I have not done that yet.
See, that's super interesting. It is like RTS type shit. But it's still like it still gets people involved in a online competitive player versus player thing, because you still get to set up your teams and do the shit, but it takes away the aspect of, you know, like you're executing, you're performing, and that's okay. Like that, like not everyone is cut out for, you know, the fighting games are hard. I said that, I posted this video, you guys remember. It's true. Fighting games are hard. Fighting games are hard. I understand people that don't want to spend, you know, hours in training mode learning combos and then have to go online and figure out how can I possibly even utilize these combos effectively against other people. It's crazy.
I don't even think that's required. I'm sure it's not somebody that spends hours in training mode. I spend like 30 minutes to learn. Like I'll go over like a combo guide on YouTube, practice the combos. But for me, the most like I get the best practice when I'm actually playing in a match. If I'm in practice mode, I can learn that combo. But unless I can do it under pressure and under the stress and tension of an actual fight, then I'm not really getting to where I need to be. So
that's always the best training thing. But training mode for me, like I want to figure out what works best for me once I have those openings. Then once I figure out what my tools are that I want that works for me, then I go and practice against people and figure out, can I even use this if I get the opportunity? Like, is this even a viable thing? And if not, whatever. But yeah, that's how I use practice mode. Just to figure out, like, how can I get the most damage out of this shit? Is this thing reliable online? Boy, in NRS history, fucking almost nothing was reliable online. Just optimized combos for days. Thankfully, since MKXL and now Injustice 2, like, you can do some pretty alright shit online. It's not bad.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I don't really have any issue pulling off combos online.
It's so fucking much better. Especially since back 2 combos are like, that's what you want in this game. You want that shit a lot. And with Robin, he has lots of pop-ups that you want to lead into those things, and I'm sure a lot of the characters do too. But before they got this netcode, like, you couldn't time that shit right. When they're falling in the air and you're trying to juggle them and including a back 2 in there, well, that shit's gonna get wonky. Unless you're Scarecrow. Because that thing's hitbox is huge.
You're talking about back 3?
Yeah, back 3. It's slow. It's slow, but it's a good one. But he needs it, man.
His back 3 and forward 3 are fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say his back 3 is good, but his forward 3 has a lot of girth as well. It's not to be joked with.
There's girth.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, that's one way to describe that.
Let it be known, Dr. Crane.
Hardy.
Yes, it's hefty, you could say.
Yeah.
If we were to bag it, it would definitely need a hefty bag.
No, absolutely.
What
Put that shit in the green bin.
Well, we were originally talking about ranked. I'm not sure. Well, not ranked, but we were originally talking about mains, and then
characters.
We covered a lot actually. I was waiting for you guys to kind of to get everything out. I could respond to some. What do you want me to respond to first? Ranking, tier list, or training mode? Because we covered all. I
mean, let's just work backwards. Go ahead and start with practice. That way we can get back to where we were. We'll work back the same path we got here.
Yeah, well, one thing I like to do about practice is I look at situational combos. Like, I really have 4 combos at all times. What is my best forward 3 combo? What is my best back 3 combo? Meter burn on both of these. If someone jumps in, what is my best down 2 combo? And then what is my best chain combo, bread and butter combo? So those are my 4 main combos. And then on top of that, I stack on corner combos. I don't mess with corner combos too much until I know I'm going to be playing the character long term. Corner combos are like the last thing I learn, but they're important. I make sure my main has a good one, and I try to make sure my secondary and tertiary have one. So that takes a lot of time. Another thing I look at is on block, like will someone be able to backdash something?
Oh,
so I try to set
absolutely.
Backdash. I use that less sparingly. I also try to check, like, if I do a special, will that lock them down? Will they be able to jump out of it? If they do jump out of it and I down 2 them, what's the juggle height, stuff like that. So for every new character I learn, I spend a good, I'd say about 90 minutes in training mode initially, and then I'll spend like 20-minute sessions throughout the next month. Okay, that's not working for me. 20 minutes in training mode. Okay, well, this seems interesting. What if I get more damage out of this? 20 minutes in training mode. So it's very session based. I don't get much value out of like 3 hours in training mode. It's like a fucking gravity chamber where you're doing push-ups like 50 times. No, that's not. It's not like that. It's purely like, I mean, it's called labbing for a reason because you're just trying to find out what works, what doesn't. There are exceptions. Wonder Woman, I'll spend like a good. I must have spent like an hour and a half just doing her back 3 link. Just because Batman's back 3 link in his 2-2-3 combo, and Wonder Woman's fucking back 3 link after her forward 2-3 combo is so different. So it's the muscle memory, I get them mixed up, and you have to kind of visually confirm it. With Wonder Woman, it's even worse because to even link the forward 2-3, I have to hear the shield sound. Because I align my inputs with the shield sound. That's how I know when to confirm it. The gap is too wide to do it on muscle memory for me, so I have to use that to build the muscle memory. So I guess the short answer is training mode is session based. I don't spend large blocks of time unless I have like a really difficult link. That's not true of all games though, by the way. In Marvel 3, you will spend 4 hours learning a bread and butter combo. Just because combos the idea of a combo in Marvel is to take away the entire life bar. So that makes sense. Like that is the gravity chamber of Spirit in Time. Yes, that is in the lab. But with NetherRealm games, I don't really think that's as big of a deal. You really just want to get a good 25% damage. If you can get more, get more. But so that's my thoughts on training mode.
Yeah, and that was a good point about learning. What's safe, what's not safe, and what pokes can you use that are viable, all that sort of thing. That's what I use training for. But yeah, then no. I'm definitely not a Tom Brady where I'm just fucking in the lab all day looking at the fucking cylinders. I don't want that guy to stop it. That guy needs to never leave the lab. Like, he's best in his lab, I think.
It'll be a sad day when everything is functioning properly. No, I absolutely agree. I love Tom Brady videos. I really, it's all about practical application. I want to learn competency and I want to optimize my damage. That's my main goal in lab. And then everything else is just because something's not working. Because Redman's backdashing my shit, so I gotta go back in the lab now.
Dude, that shit's buff, man. Backdash on Wake Up is buff in this game.
I love how good backdashes are in this game. It's so awesome. MKX needed better. Like the backdash on Stamina thing, I think was dumb, but whatever. We're not gonna go there.
I see fucking people just. I see the fucking AI all the time. It's stupid. It makes me mad. Like. They're just fucking backdashing through interactables all day. Through projectiles. They don't give a fuck. They just use that invincibility. Man, fucking AI is crazy in this game. It's fun to watch, though.
Oh, yeah. Me and Cyber were having a great match, and his Poison Ivy, he basically dodged my meter burn energy beam purely on backdash invincibility frames. It was fucking awesome. Like, just in that invincibility window. Completely whipped the full screen energy beam, and I'm like, man, backdashes are good in this game, and I love it. I hate how not good they are in they are good in MKX, but they're just very resource heavy.
I've been surprised. I do wonder like how much they might have gotten buffed since Injustice 1, because they were definitely there in Injustice 1. You would see it in tournament, not incredibly unoften, people being able to backdash through, like the fucking throwing the drones and shit like that. It's super, super interesting. Dude, on AI, though, I got one of my AI Robins, his combo max and his AI, whatever. If he has one of his abilities you can unlock is basically Batman's Injustice 1 Batarang. You just fucking chuck it. It's the exact same shit. Fucking AI can do, like, a fucking 30 fucking hits, fucking taking them from juggling up top, do a fucking shit, hit them, crouch down low, do the low combo into another thing, fucking hit them with the Batarang mid combo to extend it, and then keep going. Dude, this shit's sick. I wish I could do some of that shit. This shit's fucking awesome. But Robin's a very combo intensive character anyway. Like he lends himself to combos pretty much. Like that's his thing. That's his one thing he's got. If he gets in and he's able to start shit, it's gonna it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, Robin's very strong in my opinion. I think he's a very solid character design. I see exactly what they were trying to do. I think they did a good job. I won't be playing the character just because. I mean, I think you got that ground covered. I don't think we need another Robin player. We're good.
I'm not doing anything else over here.
Yeah, like us three are just holding down the Xbox for it, and I'm not even showing up for work half the time. So you pretty much are holding up the Xbox thing all by yourself right now, just because PS4 is taking so much of my time.
I do want to give some shout outs to some of the guild guys though. They're fucking sick in there, man.
Nice.
I did, you know, slide off a couple of dudes today. Don't get mad if it happened. Look, if you really want back in, send me a thing, whatever. But we just had a lot of not super active guys, and the dudes in the chat were asking me to do it, and it wasn't a bad idea. So yeah, and I want to get you two in there whenever you guys can get the fucking whenever NRS can fix their game.
I've been
It's not even NRS. Like my Xbox Live just isn't. I cannot connect. I don't know what the hell's going on. Tomorrow I'm gonna reset the router and see if that helps at all. But just I even tried wiring up. Like I'm wired and it still will not connect. I don't get it.
It's really weird.
It's just the Xbox. My computer's fine. My PS4 is working fine. Don't know what's going on.
And Temps had his problems with like. What is it?
Privacy,
Parental locks and
yeah,
shit?
there was
I've had
content
that too.
restrictions. I got like, you know, like fucking child restrictions and shit. So
yeah.
I opened up all my fucking like privacy settings, like to the point where you can see my fucking social security number when you go into my Xbox profile. And now like it didn't work. It still didn't work. So I'm like, fuck it. So I put everything back to block so no one can see shit. And now it works. Now, so it's a bug. It's a server issue. It's not anything like legitimate. It's just there's something fucked with the servers. So,
and they've talked about it on their various Twitters. I had already told the guys about this. I got the billion credits bug, which, like I said, it feels almost intentional because of how great of a troll it is. Like. You see that credit amount, and it's like, I can't even count that high. It doesn't even really fit on the screen super well. And it's like, I'm fucking going to the bank, man. I'm going to open all this shit. It's fucking gold boxes all day. No, the game thinks you don't have anything. You can't spend anything. You can't earn any more. You're fucking locked there.
Oh my god, I think it finally... My thing... Speak of the devil. I think mine finally just worked.
Sick.
Sound like you just
like literally
gave yourself a happy over there.
Yes, in this exact second that you were talking about that, I finally earned credits. Let's see if it fixed it.
Welcome. I don't know how mine got fixed.
I was negative.
It's
I was
weird.
telling you I was gonna wait till we were recording and tell you what was going on. So I was negative credits. Like I was minus like.
Nice.
I somehow was minus 8,000 credits. Like I owed the fucking game money or something. Like I'm gonna have to open up my pocketbook and be like, all right, I'll have the money. Don't break my leg.
Damn, the fucking Injustice loan sharks.
I know, but no, it just happened out of nowhere earlier, and I don't know what the hell happened. I was just selling shit, and all of a sudden it said, I have no credits. I couldn't earn credits. I couldn't buy gearboxes or anything or mother boxes. So yeah, I don't know what the hell just happened, but I was running a character through the Endless Tower. I wasn't earning any credits after each fight, but now just my character just finally lost, and it finally said that I earned credits. Let's go see if I actually have credits again.
It's crazy. Like, yeah, there's been a lot of those of little bugs like this here and there that they're trying to.
Oh my god, I have credits again. I can get
welcome.
Though I'm still negative on guild credits, so that might be a problem.
Well, it's so weird that that's even like programmable inside like the system. Like I can't believe you can have negative anything. That doesn't make sense to me. Like to buy a microtransaction and just you're not even getting anything. You're just alleviating debt. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like
right.
I don't know. That's God, but well, I'm glad that's fixed because that sucks. Like that could really hurt the game for a long-term basis. That I'm glad that's alleviated.
Yeah, they're going to be they're on this shit. They're doing as much as they can over there. That patch went up today, and they said that like there's no gameplay changes at all coming with this. We're just trying to fix our broke game because a lot of people are having trouble, man. But it's I think they're going to be on top of it. NRS doesn't like that kind of bad PR. They get on top of that shit. Fucking look what they did with netcode. They fucking pulled off a miracle and gave away free netcode with a game that had been out for a year. It's craziness. People used to give them so much shit for their faces, and now look what's up. Fucking that's how you get what you want from NRS.
Yeah, it works. It's very effective.
It does. Just fucking bully them and fucking ridicule them to death, and fucking Ed Boon's just sitting over there fucking chewing on his fucking teeth, being, all right, I'll fucking show you guys. Listen, Warner Brothers, we're gonna need $1 billion on faces.
See, he's chewing on his teeth?
Yes, he's chewing on his teeth. That's how.
God,
I know, dude.
Sounds really painful.
That's why he's a pro, man. That's how he has the position he has.
He's a professional.
He doesn't say anything. He chews his teeth instead of talking. When it's a smart move. It's a good strat.
Hey, that is true. I mean, Ed Boon doesn't get enough credit for that, for just how much he kind of keeps pace despite all the shit. Because I really do like Ed Boon. I hope people know that,
do too.
But I do.
Yeah.
We all do. But yeah,
I got mad respect for Ed Boon. That dude is dude's a fucking he's a smart guy over there, man. It's crazy how you can be like fucking sell not just your IP to Warner, just be like, hey, Warner Brothers, you guys should buy me too. In fact, buy my whole team. We're so integral to MK that you should just fucking just throw us on the top there. That'll be great. It was a sneaky move, and that dude's, the rest is history. Those guys they make the most highest grossing fighting games that exist. Consistently, these games sell so well. It's crazy.
Yeah, but, they know what the people want. Yeah, and I don't see that changing I think they have another 10 years of like best-selling fighting games ahead of them.
Oh, I agree, absolutely. Especially with what they've been talking about for this game. I know we're just fucking digressing all over everyone's face here. But
I mean, no worry. I mean, did y'all want me to address ranking next, or
no? I have questions for you.
Oh yes,
we're gonna go back to it.
Absolutely.
But I've heard him talk so much about, and this is what's interesting here, right in the fucking dead center of this gameplay sort of competitive oriented podcast. They've been talking a lot about the importance of single player content to them, and that's nothing new. We've seen that for forever, since conquest mode and shit. But really, like, I really do think that's the biggest thing that makes them sell as much as they do and as smart as they are. This game, as far as single player content, also it's impressive. Like, I think story, like I've said this before, but story mode's like the least impressive part of their whole marketing, their whole push, their whole effort towards single player content in this game. And I'm not saying that story mode's bad. I'm saying that, like, that's how interesting all this other stuff is, and it just keeps building on top of itself with each one. Multiverse is fun. I've had a lot of fun with Multiverse. I could see that doing some very interesting things. It reminds me a lot of Conquest Mode. I've said that before. This Multiverse reminds me a lot of Conquest Mode. It doesn't feel like the Living Towers as much to me. This feels pretty different. You guys played that any?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, not much, but as much as I can, really.
Yeah,
I usually stick to, like, if I see a gear set for a character that's on the line, like the other day, you could get epic Poison Ivy gear if you beat it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I always keep a watch out for any character that we play. I always keep an eye for those and just give people a heads up. So I've seen Ivy on there. I saw Swamp Thing and gave Redman a heads up on that. I've seen Fate on there, like epic gear for Fate. And yeah, sometimes, like I said, there'll be like a full set for a character if you complete everything as a full epic set, and that's awesome that they're doing that. And I'm also looking forward to the Wonder Woman one where they're going to do like those, timed. I mean, they're all timed to a degree, obviously, but the ones where it's like a special event, how they're going to have her movie attire or movie gear available. Yeah, they're going to. I don't know when it is. I think it's like in the upcoming week or so. They're going to have her movie, like her actual movie costume as gear tied to Multiverse, like a Multiverse event, and that's how you obtain it. That's the only way to obtain it. And I think that's really awesome. So if you're
that's
hopefully
that's
we get like
Warner
Nightfall
Brothers ass
Bane.
marketing right there.
Yeah, I'm hoping it goes beyond movies. I hope it goes to like comic book attires. Like if you want like I said, Nightfall Bane is the first one that comes to mind, then hey, beat this Multiverse event. And the best thing is you don't even have to do them. If you're like, man, I really want that shit, but I don't want to have to grind, like fucking put the AI shit on and just let it go and do other shit while you do it. Like I play the mobile game while I have it going through the AI tower. I'll do whatever else I gotta do, design shit. whatever I'm doing. I do it right now. I'm doing it right now.
It's yeah, like the multiverse is probably for most people at the end of the day, like it's a place to grind for whatever you want in the game. But it's not a terrible one. Like it's fun a lot of the times. I like the side kicking ones that they do in there. That's fun. Yeah, there's just stuff like it is a grindy, and that's why you're there. And they it feels like they know that's why you're there. So they keep it fun, and the guild ones are fun too. How you can like fight a guild boss that's stupid and has like 1 billion health and whatever, and the other guys can like throw in rockets and health and shit at you, and it's everyone's involved in those guild boxes. Yeah, those things are awesome, man. NRS, well done. That's easily my biggest surprise with this game. Over gameplay and everything, just how interesting and how much I've enjoyed the non-traditional like 1v1 in this game. How I like the other stuff way more than I thought I would.
Absolutely. Story mode is fantastic. Guild is the guild system in general. I feel like that's something they should have advertised before. I mean, that would have been hype in itself. But I'm so happy with it. The only thing I would change, if I could change one thing, is they gotta raise the cap on how many people you can put in there.
Yeah, everyone's been saying that. It's true. And both of ours filled up pretty fast.
Quick, yeah. Within 2 days, they were completely filled up of all 50 people. And then I noticed when somebody will accidentally leave, we'll have like 7 invites or 7 requests just waiting there. And I'm like, God, man, I want to be able to accept everyone. It sucks.
Yeah, and I think they will if it's at all possible. Even if it's not at all possible, if enough people keep calling for it and like streamers are calling for it, I've seen like it's got to happen. I think it's going to happen. That's how NRS operates. And like I said, the AI mode's interesting too. There's a lot of fun ideas, little nuggets that they didn't talk about so much beforehand that you can kind of explore and see what happens. I was going to say something else and I don't remember what it was, but what was it? Oh, yeah, and story mode's obviously super pretty to look at.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't even seem like it's made by the same people, and that's a knock, but it's like a complimenting knock. Like, their old stories weren't... Like I've said this, I've used this term and phrase before when describing it, is before their story modes felt like a fighting game with a story, like cinematic shoehorned in. It's the complete opposite here. This is a story that you can watch. It's a movie with some fighting put into it. It's nice. It is. It's not. It's not like a big long episode of like the Justice League or something. It was. It was good. It was very enjoyable. It was funny too. Like boy, coming off of some of these DCU movies, man, it's kind of weird seeing like a thing that's still like it's not a joke. It's like there's a middle ground between. Some of the grim dark shit we've seen in the movies and Adam West, like there's a area between that you guys can hang out in. That's cool. And Batman can fucking be Batman and be fucking serious, but then sometimes it's cool when you see him fucking just lacing up his boots and doing a montage of his costume, putting out the gloves, putting out the cape, doing the belt. There was some nice, cheesy, campy moments in it. Just enough, like, where it wasn't like, oh, God, this is awful. Yeah. It was like, oh, man, this perfectly sums up, like, what you think of when you think of Justice League. You get some of those cheesy, campy moments, but overall, it was fantastic. It was. It was measured very well. Like, it didn't lean too hard into it. Just enough to kind of, like, alleviate, take a little bit of the air out of it to keep it from being, like, oh, God, this is fucking too serious. And I saw some reviewers saying that about the story mode, like too dark. And too dark. I was like, what the fuck were you watching? Like, Canary and Green Arrow were fun as shit to watch. Harley was fantastic. Batman, every once in Harley's always been great in Injustice. She's rocking it out over there. Like Batman was still Batman, but they weren't afraid to do some of the funnier things about him, like, oh, you're okay with you don't kill people, but you're okay with severe brain damage. That's cool. Then you got the great moments like Robin being carried away by Superman that we both love. Fucking awkward as shit. I still wish that would be his Wimpos. That would be sick as shit. And then Poison Ivy's Poison Ivy's sick burn on Cyborg, I still love. Like,
damn,
fucking talking about how he doesn't have a dick. Like, I love the video of the dudes that were like, he's talking about his dick. Like, they're just freaking out. I don't know if you guys seen that video, but it's just.
I have not. I do want to see that though.
It's just two black guys being like, damn, he's talking about his dick. Like, it's just like pointing out the obvious, but it's just like the exact reaction that you want from that. It is perfect. I love it.
It is, and that was funny. It came out of nowhere, and it's like that escalated quickly. Like, what did this guy? Damn, what did he do to you, man? But she doesn't give a fuck.
I know, that's great. No fucks given.
Yeah,
Cyborg.
fucking, and I enjoyed Damien's little off-camera Johnny Cage kick.
Yeah,
because like I thought that was like, okay, that's got to be an ability if he does that in the fucking cutscene. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But apparently it's not. So that was just like a little cute nod for the thing there. If you're paying attention, you got Cage. But there were some fun MK nods in there. They were cute. The fucking marquee in that one stage saying "finish him," adorable.
Oh yeah, that was tight.
But let's turn the clock back here. We're talking about serious shit. It's a serious podcast about gameplay. Temp, tell me about your character. Which character are you into right now?
I don't think you ever went into ranked.
We'll get back to ranked. Don't you worry.
I said a lot about Blue Beetle in the Nethercast. Blue Beetle's cool.
Are you still playing him though? Is he still your primary?
Yeah, he's still my primary. I still like him a lot. He's probably my worst character, ironically. He's probably my shittiest character. One thing I love about Injustice is every character has one thing that's too good. And that's brilliant for a fighting game. That's sort of the killer instinct philosophy and how to approach things.
It is. That's an interesting point. I would agree with that.
It's great.
And I like Beetle, it. It's a good thing.
I'm trying to find Beetle's too good ability, and right now I think his mobility actually might be his greatest strength, but that's a good example of me having to go back in the lab to see if I can find something out. I'm gonna have to mess with it, just see what other characters can do to his crazy shenanigans, because I'm afraid that's all they're ever going to be is shenanigans. But I feel like the character is so balanced, he doesn't really need that one shining strength. I feel like he has so much shit. He has a safe footsie tool with shield. He's got a good mix-up, with his overhead down one, which sounds predictable, but you don't have to do that down one. You can go into overhead and then do something else. You can cancel another shit. You can do overhead shield. There's a lot of possibilities. His corner restand is very strong. Because you can block his overhead down one, but you have to know he's going to do overhead down one. So it's just a lot of good psychological games. He's very honest, and he's very loaded with abilities. Just a lot. He's a really cool skill set. So Beetle's great. Other characters.
I haven't touched him since the game launch, but just from the beta and seeing and playing your Blue Beetle and playing other Blue Beetles online, seeing a couple of the differences that seem to be the case. Like he definitely seems like one of those characters that's like honorable. He's an honorable. He's not dirty. He doesn't have any bullshit. He's a working class character that I like. I like those characters.
Yeah, you definitely have to play the character because you like the character. No one's going to jump on this character for tournament purposes, which I love. That's one of my favorite things about him.
Yeah.
And he feels better since the beta. I'd recommend giving him another run just to see what you think. But
I will. Yeah, he's on my list.
Yeah, he's one of my 4. I learned about 4 characters. I mean, learned in quotations. I've been messing around with about 4 characters pretty consistently, and my number 2 is Green Lantern. Green Lantern's a character who pretty much has everything. He's very good. With meter, he has some of the strongest zoning in the game. Without meter, he still has really good strings. Really good forward 3 and back 3. He's
a little less honorable than Blue Beetle, I'd say. But I mean, like he's still like he's a staple of Injustice from the first game. Like you can't change the character that much. He was dirty as shit in that game, and he's still got some dirt going on here. So I expected it.
They reinvented the character and he's still dirty. Oh yeah, Green Lantern's a fucking coke smuggler. He's horrible. I love him. He's my secondary by far.
That fucking crazy, like knockdown cross up kick thing that he has.
Where you have to guess between walk forward, forward 3, and
It's
walk
like,
forward,
what?
jump 3. Yeah.
Like this is like the fucking dirtiest cross up I've ever seen in my life. Like this is not Street Fighter. This is dirty. It's okay though.
Yes.
I don't hate it, but it is when you get hit by it, it's like, no, I don't know about.
Yeah, I feel like it's become a crutch for tournament players though, because as good as it is, I feel like tournament players are just trying to vortex, and in a game with so many meter options and breaker options, and it just I feel like sometimes you better just maximize. His zoning is so good. I wouldn't spend all his time just fucking, doing jump 3, forward 3. I think there's so much more to the game. I don't think it's an interesting.
And that
way to play
weird
character.
back low thing that he has, that starter, Jesus, it's still
Yes, it was good in the last
one
game.
of the best
It's
moves in the
good this
game.
for sure. Yeah.
That dude makes so much hay off that one fucking move. It's crazy. It's effective. Like, it's coming. He's like, he's gonna do it. Yep, he did it, and it worked. It's fucking. It's, you know what? It feels a little bit like Supergirl's teleport. It's more honorable than her teleport, but you still get that feeling after you get hit with it. It's like, I don't know, but yeah, Green Lantern, dude.
Well, this kind of ties into my. Well, yeah, go on.
No, I was just gonna ask. Can you tell if there's been any change to the max character distance in this game from the first one?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I can't. I'm leaning towards you have less space, but the models seem bigger in this game. I think part of that is because the zoom out is less, but I honestly can't tell.
It's that's such like an important factor with any fighting game. That's one of the biggest fucking decisions you can make up front. And with Injustice 1, it was fucking huge, especially coming off of Mortal Kombat, where like that's never been the case like that. And obviously, like the more room you have between characters, between players, the more it encourages zoning. They kind of just go together.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And there's plenty of that in this game. There's plenty of moments, especially as a Robin player, where I am full screen and it's like I have to fucking run a mile to touch you right now. And a lot of other characters, they have decent projectiles and whatnot, and they don't have to do all that. But that distance is just so big. It's like, this is definitely intentional, but I don't know, it's interesting. It's interesting to me. What do you think?
I think this game does have a lot of the problems of the previous zoning, where you get a clash, it knocks you full distance. Even a lot of throws will throw characters full distance. A lot of good chain combos with Wonder Woman. One of her best chain combos is her 2-2-3, despite the gap, and it knocks you full screen, which is not really what I want with Wonder Woman. So that screen distance is super important. I don't know if it's longer or shorter. I would definitely have to look into it. I'm not 100% on that yet.
Yeah, it's just be something interesting that I would want to look into too, because it's interesting just from a design standpoint. Like,
yeah,
fucking Paolo or somebody else over there was just like, this screen distance, let's move it in a little bit. Let's push it out a little bit. Let's push it out a little more. Maybe a little more. It's just interesting to be like those design decisions. Let's push it out a little more and give Black Adam his lightning bolt, his ground lightning bolt thing that hits you 3 times and pushes you away. That's a good idea. It's just a lot of interesting choices, man. And I like this game. I'm having a blast with it. I really like this game. It's almost better than Injustice 1. As soon as I get my dick stick, it's going to be way better than Injustice 1. It's going to be the best. It's going to be the fucking best.
I think this game stomps Injustice 1.
Listen, I know. I'm biased over here with my fucking stupid Nightwing shit. I just want that staff back. That staff was my Injustice experience. The first Injustice was like Injustice Dick versus the world. I want that staff back, and it's so crazy that it's in there. Like I'm still surprised that it's even a thing, but boy, they make you work for it.
Yeah, I hope you get that soon, because I'm curious how it's going to play out in matches. That's going to be really interesting. I really need to get a character to level 20 so we can do something about that.
It's just gonna be fun to be able, like, I can't even
On
imagine being able
Xbox, by
to.
the way, I already got like 5 level 20 characters on PS4, but on Xbox, you can get a level 20 character.
That's another great thing to make your AI butler do for you.
God, it just, man, splitting my time between 2 consoles has been, I can't say exhausting because I've barely done it, but just, it's really going to be resource difficult, or it's going to be time. Yeah, I've been doing that too.
Put both consoles on, have them both on the AI endless, and just keep pressing A and X every couple of minutes, and there you go.
Listen to these dirty strats.
I'm not that organized.
Or play when you're playing the game on one console, like you're actually playing it, then just have the other one on and just keep pressing A and check back every 20 minutes to see if your character's lost yet, because usually they go about 20 to 25 fights before they lose, usually.
Yeah, I'll probably just like put on a Netflix movie and just like mash both button controllers and just give it a go.
This game definitely rewards the people that are like, if you want to put in the effort, you can get some good shit. But it is some effort. I'm looking forward to see if that changes, though. A lot of people have been talking about that. Obviously, like, the drop rate of abilities and shaders both, but abilities is the most rare thing that drops because there's the least of those in the game. There's way more. Jesus, compared to the amount of gear that's in this game, fucking white trash gear that's in this game, yeah, there's probably like 2% the amount of like abilities versus gear in this game. So of course it's going to drop away less often, and shaders are also rare, but more than the other one. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like 5 abilities, 8 shaders, and then
I think I read that it's what was the number? Jesus, my browsing history is just filled with fucking grinding strats for this game, trying to optimize. There's some dirty shit out there too, let me tell you. But I think I saw that it was 7
abilities.
They make
Incognito for, bud.
What is this grinding shit, man?
Whatever you're into, dude.
Yeah, but I think it was 7 abilities per character. It might not be the same for everyone, but
yeah,
I read somewhere that it was 7.
Cool.
In case you guys are curious. Okay, we did your main. We did Temp's main for now.
Talked about Green Lantern as well. He talked about his secondary.
Well, just to kind of wrap up Green Lantern, like, I just love how he's so option heavy. Like, for my footsies, I have back 1-3. For my meaties, I have 2-2-3, which confirms into his bread and butter. His back 3 is probably my favorite back 3 in the game, just because I love the animation. I really, and also it's not his best chain because of the start. He's very startup heavy. That's probably the biggest problem with Green Lantern. But if you can get that back 2-3-3, gosh, it's hella good pressure. Like it puts it just push away to set up his back 1. It just, oh god, he's such a good character. I have more characters, but we can stop there. And we'll save Wonder Woman and Batman for the next one. Did you guys want me to address ranking, or or tier list? What did y'all want me to talk about?
Well, before, like, unless there's more characters you guys want to talk about, I
can get into Scarecrow, but I'm not. I don't know if we really need to address him or not.
I wouldn't mind hearing some Scarecrow stuff. Do you want to do that before I talk a little bit about Robin, or?
Sure, I'll get him out of the way. That way we can just kind of wrap up me.
Tell me about Dr. Crane.
Okay, Scarecrow. He's a lot of fun. I picked him up actually really quickly, which is surprising to me because Ivy took a lot of work and a lot of frustration, whereas Scarecrow, the basically my entire time learning him was done within like 30 minutes to an hour tops in training, and it was just throw on a combo video, try the character. Because I had tried him initially when the game, first night I popped into training just to at least try him one match or whatever, and he felt really awkward to me, but it didn't take long for that to change, because the next time I tried him, it just like fit like a glove. I think after managing to get through Ivy and the trickiness that she had about her, Scarecrow was like a walk in the park compared. Like, a lot of his combos seem pretty simple to land. The timing's not too difficult. I mean, you'll occasionally miss your back 3, but I mean, that's a lot of characters' combos. Just the timing's kind of iffy with some of those. But no, I love this character in the sense of he's right up there with Ivy in terms of how much fun I'm having with him. I've had good success with him. I don't think he's as strong as my Ivy. I definitely struggle a lot more with him. especially in certain matchups. I like him versus Green Lantern. It's a struggle to get in, but I think he's got a lot of good tools. He's definitely, I think he's mid tier, maybe high tier. I'm not sure, but I don't think he's broken. I don't think he's like S tier or any like crazy super high tier. In that sense, I don't think he's gonna be, severely nerfed or anything like that. He's got some options. I love, like I said, he's different from any character that I've ever played because most of my characters have either been rushdown or zoners, whereas he's more all about those long normals and the mid-range game and the long-reaching stuff. So he can get you outside of sweep distance. That's when he's at his best because he can get in quick with his little diving headbutt thing, and then that leads into a combo with his chain spin, meter burn it, then back 3, jump 2, and then you're in business. And just great stuff. Like I said, his combos just feel great. I have a lot of fun. Like with IVs are all just like little basic strings. I'm not doing super long combos. It's usually a a meter burn back 3, jumping 2, and then combo ender. His are a little bit like they're more extended, but at the same time they're all pretty simple animations or simple button combinations. The only thing tricky about him is his command grab is difficult. Anything where you're doing down, back, forward is kind of a pain in the ass, especially when it's at the end of like a 10-hit combo where the character's dropping faster and faster. So getting that out in time, it can be a pain in the ass. That's why I don't usually use that move. I keep it seldomly to kind of throw somebody off when they're not expecting it. But yeah, the character's a lot of fun. Like we talked about earlier, his back 3 and his forward 3 are tremendous in their reach. You can really catch somebody off guard, meter burn, and you can catch them pretty far away, which is always great. His traumatized traits is kind of bittersweet. I mean, it's great in the sense that it can open up the character for a combo, and you can extend a combo with it. But at the same time, you have to activate it to start. Like you have to activate it to start building the meter up, which opens you up to projectiles and to eat combos, which has happened to me plenty of times because the duration on that, the frame data on that, like it takes a while when you start that up. You can't just immediately start doing things, and then you got to get close to them so it starts building up. And then ideally you want to do things that cause put out more fear gas, so you're building it up even quicker. And then when you finally get it, which it can be a pain in the ass to get, when you finally get it, it's a timer, so you have to basically get it in time. So if it's near the end of the round when you finally get it up, giggity, then that, like, it's going. It's same during the clash. Like, that thing is going down, and I've ran out of time so many times because I'm trying to find that perfect moment to get my opponent, because so many times when I go to do it, I'll get hit out of it, and then it's all gone, and I have to start over from square one. So I don't know. It's like I said, it's bittersweet. I don't think it's bad by any means. I'm not trying to like sell it like, oh man, it's this horrible trait. No, it's a really, really powerful trait, and it's got a ton of potential. I just think it has a lot of drawbacks, in my opinion, that keep it in check. But overall, no, I'm having a blast with Scarecrow, and really interesting character to me. Love his reach on so many of his things, and yeah, he's got some interesting tools to him.
That character has he surprised me a little bit because of how, to me anyway, I don't know if it's the same with anyone else, but I haven't touched Scarecrow. I'm planning to check him out because I like the character, but he was giving me the iffy Wiggins before the game came out, but seeing him and seeing people play him in a slightly more competitive setting, even if he's just ranked or on streams or whatever,
sure.
Like I think he's really entertaining to watch.
Absolutely.
I really like seeing people like use him, especially in this game. It's fun to see people put in work with him, because he's not a brain dead character. You got to be thinking about that shit with him.
Agreed.
As you should be. Like, he seems like one of those characters. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit with Robin too. He shouldn't be a brain dead character to play. It's that dude has to work to get in on these people as Crane, because he's a fucking he has a gimmick. He's not super in any way, shape, or form, and that seems to kind of carry over into the gameplay. Like, you can't just run into the other dude and start punching. Like, that's not what you gotta do with this dude.
I'm happy that he's like that as well. I'm happy that you got to work a little bit at him, and I'm also happy that he doesn't have zoning options, at least in his vanilla set. He doesn't have... I mean, he has, obviously, his mid-range game is great, but he doesn't have anything that's going full screen where he can just zone the shit out of people. Like, in this game especially, that's... Not many characters don't have, like, zoning options, I feel like. So I like that... I'm not used to playing a character... I mean, I'm used to playing, like, Katana and Kenshi that both have zoning options, obviously. So it's nice playing, and even Ivy has a zoning option. I like playing a character for variety's sake that does not have a zoning option. It can be frustrating at times, especially facing certain characters, but yeah, he is a lot of fun. And the one thing I would improve on for him, and I mentioned this in the Nethercast, and I mean, it's debatable, Temp kind of looked up the frame data for it, is his teleport. I don't need it to be like a crazy teleport. I'm not trying to like abuse it, and a teleport with him is especially dangerous because he can do some good shit, and if you give him too good of a teleport, then you're in trouble. Then he becomes definitely broken as shit. But I don't know, I'm struggling to use that teleport. Maybe it's just because it's so early still, and we haven't figured out the best way to do it. But there's so many times where I go to use that teleport when somebody does a projectile, and the projectile still hits me even though it looks like my character should have already been teleported at that point. Like, he's disappeared on the screen, it's just the green smoke that's there, and yet I still get hit by something. Especially in, like, if somebody's doing rushdown and pressuring me, that teleport is not good for getting on the corners or anything, because when I go to do it, if they do a low, you're immediately kicked out of it, and you're opened up to a combo. And I feel like it's very easy to predict when it's coming. So I mean, like I said, it's not something I need like buff like crazy, but I mean, like, give me an extra 5 or 10 frames or something. I don't know what the frame data was. I think it was like 40 frames for the duration, something around there. If you cut that just ever so slightly, give me something to where if I read somebody's going for a projectile, I should be able to profit off of that. That's his only way to get in on zoners for the most part. I mean, I guess you can work your way in the old-fashioned way too, but
boy, that's fucking walking uphill in the snow a mile both ways. Like, when you don't have a good projectile game in this game, and you're trying to make your way over there from full screen, boy, you're pounding the pavement out there. But no, I've heard the same opinion going around about Scarecrow, about his teleport. I think he probably would benefit either decrease the startup or decrease the recovery. He's got some decent recovery there too, because I mean, I've been able to punish it pretty consistently when I see people doing it online. After he teleports, like, I can usually get over there and do a faster poke or sometimes a throw. Like, I think with Scarecrow, but this is just me from watching him, I haven't touched him, but just from watching him, like, if you cut down on the startup or the recovery, just one of them, not both of them, a little bit, I think that character would benefit from it without being stupid. Like, it is a fine line with that character.
Right, I agree completely. He doesn't need much. I think he's already, like I said, he's already a good character. I don't foresee him having a lot of issues in the long run or changes in the long run. If anything, he might get something nerfed. But I'm hoping that if anything gets buffed on him, I agree with you. Startup, I don't know enough to know what to change on it. I just know something, just a very, very minor change to it would be nice. I mean, they'd have to tool around to make sure it doesn't become too good, but I just like it to be a little bit more viable when dealing with zoners.
And that's another point. Like, I say the recovery would be the one that I would go to decrease, but that's because I don't have to deal with the startup, because Robin does not have a projectile that's going to make it over there before you can teleport. That's just not an option I have. There's lots of other guys that do. So that startup could be more of a problem for him. I don't know, but I do know that, yeah, I've been able to knock him out of recovery pretty consistently.
But Redman dominates me whenever I try and use it. It's to the point where I just don't really use it. I use it incredibly sparingly if I feel like, hey, they're not going to expect it because I haven't done it for like 5 matches type of thing. But yeah,
that's a cool thing too. Like, I don't feel like it should be a thing that you can like,
rely on,
spam and get away with a lot with him. Like,
exactly, I agree with that. It shouldn't be his main thing,
because then, like, you know, it becomes part of the strategy, and that's what seems so cool about the character. Like, there is a lot of strategy involved, and they have to kind of think about this and their positioning and their footsies and their spacing and where they want the guy to go, where they want to end up being. So
yeah, he's
that makes the teleport whenever he gets it well, whenever he nails that teleport and it works for him. Like, it's like, fuck it, it's scary. Like, you know, you don't think he's gonna do it. It keeps it interesting when he can't rely on it like a crutch, like some other characters. But yeah, he's entertaining to watch. I love watching him, and obviously you already said it, but his gear looks great.
Oh yeah,
dude's got some great gear.
Voiceovers are great from Robert Englund. Like, just the character. I love this character easily. Him, I am not disappointed in the slightest with him. He's fantastic. The only thing I hope for is just give me more gear in the future, because I know they're going to add more gear down the line with each character. I mean, there's still so many possibilities you could explore with this character. Give me a fucking pumpkin head. I don't know. Just give me shit for him that would be more thematic, kind of horror-esque with him, and I think you'd have some good times with him.
And we all saw that that plague mask, what I was calling the Bloodborne Scarecrow.
Right.
And obviously it looks sick, but I've seen some other masks that I'm like, I might like that better. That's fucking cool. He's got just a lot of good shit in there.
Yeah.
I like his like weird gas mask, gimp mask I've seen.
Yeah.
He looks fucking scary as shit. I've seen he's got one that reminds me sort of like look kind of like the doll from Saw. It also kind of reminds me of the Dollatrons a little bit. Yeah, that one's great. Man, I would love some Professor Pig in one of these games. I just love that character. Fucking sending Dollatrons after you, chasing you down. That'd be sick.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking singing the whole time. What? Yeah, Scarecrow's sick. And and you said it's a thing. A really good choice I like about that character is he is a mid-range character. That's where he operates, and that makes sense for the character.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, Scarecrow's not the kind of guy where, like, you're gonna fucking fight him like you're Batman or some shit. He's not gonna... I know that it's in the lore that he knows the Crane style kung fu or whatever, but Chimon. He's not a punchy guy. So it makes sense for him to want to keep you right at that range, though. Not any further, though.
Yeah, I think the chain sickle was a great idea for him. Because, I mean, a lot of us wanted the scythe when it comes to him, and you could have done a lot of the same stuff with the scythe, but I think, the chain sickle was a good way to go. I think that was definitely the right path to take.
I think that the scythe could have probably ended up feeling a little similar to Aquaman, too. If they weren't super creative with it. Like, the chain scythe is like a whole new thing.
It's also, the chain scythe also looks more up his alley, because you think of a chain sickle, and it probably takes less skill than, like, I imagine if he had the scythe, he'd be doing like all sorts of staff, like, twirly shit with it, when it's like, I don't really think of Scarecrow when I think of him doing like twirly stuff with the scythe, whereas with the chain sickle, anybody can swing that shit around, so that makes sense.
Yeah, on the spectrum of like stab using, like, Scarecrow shouldn't be doing anything like Nightwing did in the first game, which, that was the most martial artery competent looking staff work that's in these games,
right?
Because Aquaman doesn't need that. Like, he can fucking just bash you with that fucking thing, because he's fucking Aquaman. Whereas Dick Grayson can't rely on just bashing you with shit, but he's also like a fucking has like the best athleticism of any normal human character in comics almost.
He's got a great ass.
Dude, yeah, man, he can handle those sticks. He's got such fucking, he's coordinated, man. He's fucking
It's been a while. I'd have to review both those things before I could agree or disagree.
All right, I'll send you
some
links
time since 2013.
To Dick's stick handle usage and his ass. It's good.
Definitely going at incognito. Definitely.
No, that chain sickle. That chain sickle was a fun idea, because, obviously he shouldn't be doing, bojutsu type shit. And it's dirty. Like, there's a kind of a, dishonorable vibe with the chain sickle that fits. Like, who fucking cares about? He's wanting to win.
It feels visceral. It feels guttural. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel stylish. It doesn't feel precise or anything. It just feels like somebody that's just swinging a fucking chain around, sort of trying to kill you.
And it's like, it's like a fucking horror movie or something. Like that's that
exactly.
kind of fucking.
It's fitting. Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
It's very fitting. It was a good call, Scarecrow.
I love the diving headbutt. Like that in itself is just like a fucking like. Why
is,
would anybody
crazy.
do that? It's great. Just like a diving forehead to your stomach to set you up for a combo. It's fantastic.
That whole like dog running thing that he does is just crazy.
His walk movements and animations and his dashes are tremendous. Just backing up when he does that creepy fucking the character from top to bottom is easily, I think, one of the most interesting looking ones in the game for sure.
And he's one of those characters. It's in talking a little bit about balance and whatever like that. Like the reason why you can't fucking touch this game yet, you can't do it unless there's something, unless somebody finds something that is like game breaking. Because I'm fully expecting people with characters like both Ivy and Scarecrow, people to find some dirt. It's going to take a while, though. It's going to take a while. The guys who are really, really, really good, obviously, on day one, they're not the guys who's going to be super, super good, like, at the end of this game's lifespan, if you think about it. Like, Scarecrow has some shit that could easily turn and become really good later on once people figure it out. Same with Ivy.
There's already somebody, I forget who it was, but somebody already came up with a way to basically loop the traumatize. Like, you can, when you activate, or when you do traumatize after it's filled up and you set them up for a combo, they get stunned and they start to, like, they go down to their knees and they fall flat. So during that time, when you first hit it, you can activate traumatize again to, like, start building it up again. And you can just barely do his back, I want to say back one or back two, whichever the one is, like the very low, like kind of like jab with his poke with his foot. It's a very where he gets really close to the ground. You can just barely catch him with that right before they hit the ground, and you can open him up for a combo. So like you can still, you get your traumatized combo and you start traumatize again to start building it up. So it's kind of like a loop of getting your meter almost back full by the end of your combo. Somebody's already come up with that. It's insanely hard to do, and it takes incredibly precise timing. I have not tried it yet, but yeah, it looked rough. But yeah, so somebody's already found some crazy stuff with that.
And how many, has it been like 2 weeks since the game came out? Has it even been 2 weeks? How long has it been?
Week and a half, a little over a week and a half. It was last Tuesday, last Monday.
This game, like, there's so much fucking shit. If I sound a little annoyed by people calling for buffs and talking about shit, it's because I am. It's super dumb. Like, you cannot possibly say that anyone needs nerfs or buffs too much, because that implies that you know your character well enough to know that you are a master of all their tools, so you can, and a master of the other character's tools, so you can competently judge tier placement. And that's ridiculous. This game's fucking crazy. All the crazy bullshit that's in this game, no. So yeah, I'm hoping that rumor about NRS is more true than not, about them planning on not patching too much for a while. I hope that's the case.
I do want to chime in on that.
Go for it.
Right now, the game balance looks good to me. Deadshot is dumb, but I don't think he's by any means damaging to the game. Here's what I kind of worry about. Traditionally, if Sonic Fox wants a character nerfed, the first thing he does, he starts learning and playing the character, and then he posts footage of him playing the character, and they'll take the character in a tournament. And then generally it works. Usually that character gets nerfed.
Yep.
I have a feeling Deadshot's going to go down that route. And although I honestly, like, if there is a patch, I hope there is. Even after Evo, I don't really see any need for a patch. But if there is a patch, nerf very conservatively. I wouldn't even touch 2/3 of the cast. I would take away.
No way.
I would maybe restrict a little bit of Deadshot's normals. That's one thing I would change. I'd probably nerf Black Adam's damage. And that's almost it. Let me look at the select screen, because I didn't chime in too much on Scarecrow just because you guys had a good thing going. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm going to let this rock. But I think Scarecrow's fine. I think he's really good. I think he's better than you guys are giving him credit for, but he's in the top 10 conversation. He's not broke.
I agree.
He doesn't need nerfs.
And, all of this conversation, let me say again, like, this weekend is going to change all this shit. That's why I'm so hyped about it. I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, what ends up being I just want to see shit. I want to see what happens, what people are going to go to, like, when it comes to winning money with this game. It's going to be a completely interesting situation, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Scarecrow in there, or like there's so many characters I wouldn't be surprised to see in there. I'm not expecting to see Robin in there. I would be surprised to see him in top 8. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think Robin has a better chance than Ivy, personally, from what I've seen, anyways.
He could,
and out of the top 8 so far, Robin's been in all of them.
Well, listen, hey, I'm going to be surprised either way.
Well, let me preface that. To be fair, a very good player is playing Robin. I think, I want to say Hayate is playing Robin. He was a Takeda player in the previous game. Go fucking figure, by the way.
There's been a lot of that. I've noticed that, too.
And there's definitely similarities between the characters. So, yeah, I think Robin's probably going to get... If there is a patch, I think he's going to get hit. Not hard, but I don't think he's going to be able to escape the nerf bat. I think he's going to get a running start, and they're going to get gang up on him. I think that's what's going to happen. So,
I think so, too. He seems like he does... It's easy to see that he does a lot of damage, or he can do a lot of damage. He's a lot of damage potential. Just... I don't know how that stacks up with other characters, but I've seen some shit with him that's like... This dude has he's good. If he hits you, if he can get you. That's the question, though.
Yeah, and to be clear, the reason why I'm kind of quieter than usual is because if you guys have a good thing going, I'm going to let that rock. The Scarecrow stuff is really good, so I wanted to just kind of let that go out. I don't really even disagree with anything you guys said on the Scarecrow. The teleport's probably the closest thing to it. But I don't disagree that the teleport's bad. I just don't think the character needs a teleport. I think his forward dash is good enough where if he has meter, he can handle most of the zoning options in the game. I think Scarecrow is very good. I don't think he's broken. He's actually not. He's both better and not as good as I thought he would be at the same time. If that makes any sense, and I'll explain that.
It definitely makes sense, and
well, it probably makes sense.
I'll talk about some of that with Robin too.
It probably makes sense from a point where he's better in aspects than you expect, like in certain aspects that you didn't think he was going to be as good, but he's not as good in certain aspects that you thought were going to be broken.
So. Exactly. I never expected him to have fucking like plus frames on his pressure when he did the fucking green slash. I never thought that would be a thing, but that was that's been very prominent in tournaments, and yeah, I think even like just overall his footsies are better than I thought they would be. I thought he was going to be more like Dhalsim, but no, he's actually a decent footsie character.
He's a lot of fun footsies. I think that's why I'm having so much fun with him and Ivy, is because they're both just very footsie intensive, and that's my favorite part of the game. That's when I fell in love with MKX in terms of like actually liking fighting games to the level that you guys do in a competitive sense. It's footsies. I mean, you can zone all day, you can do this or that, but to me, the most fun I have is when I'm about 6 feet from you. We're outside of sweep, and we're trying to figure out what's next. What is the other person going to do? The little back and forth, movements, kind of feeling each other out, and then seeing, trying to bait something out, and all that type of stuff. That's what started between your Sub-Zero and my Katana, and with this game with Ivy and Scarecrow, that's exactly what I get from both of them, because they're both. They said that when they did the character breakdowns, is both of those characters are at their best when they're about outside of sweep, because they have so many options that can forward progress about sweep distance for a combo starter. So, yeah, I'm enjoying both of them for that very reason.
Nice.
I think that's why I liked Atrocitus in the beta, too, because Atrocitus is in that same kind of boat where if he's about sweep distance away from you, that's exactly where he wants to be. He wants to be about there and get up in your grill. He doesn't necessarily want to be full screen, because for him to get his full combo set up, he needs to be close enough where he lands that blood tornado after he starts a combo and he meter burns into a back 3. That's his bread and butter right there.
They're both Ivy and Scarecrow, although different characters. They're both have really rich neutral games, and I'm glad that they did, because that's my favorite part of fighting games, is the neutral. Right. So I guess I still haven't gone into ranked yet, and that's okay. Tier lists were the other things I was going to go into, and this is a great segue into that. I
still have to talk about Robin at some point. I'm sorry. It's got to happen. I got to do it.
I can.
Nah, you don't get to talk about what you want.
I gotta talk about Robin. I'm gonna fucking explode. It's gonna die.
Well, basically, I don't agree in doing matchup charts specifically. I think that's kind of dumb at this point. However, I do like making like a 3-category tier list of who's struggling, who's solid, and who's at least has busted possibilities, possibly a busted character. And right now, there's a lot of really good characters and a lot of really good solid characters, and really, there's only like 2 characters who I feel like are really going to struggle right now. And that's Swamp Thing. I think Swamp Thing's going to have a hard time. The other is, at least for now, until I see otherwise, and I'll be happy to be proven wrong, but right now I think Gorilla Grodd's also in that territory. I think Gorilla Grodd's going to have a lot of trouble at high level. Just because he's one of the few characters in this game that actually adheres to a fucking archetype. He's not fucking everything in the character. So, and the solid is just pretty much everyone else, and the busted is everyone knows who the usual suspects are at this point. But even though I don't really want to patch till 2018, if we did patch the game, the only things I would change are, like I said, Black Adam damage, Deadshot. I would kind of reduce the potency of some of his normals, and I would maybe add some startup frames on From the Deep from Aquaman. That's probably the only things I would change in this game right now. And if none of those things changed, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I was talking about Scarecrow's teleport and whatever, and obviously I don't fucking know shit about that shit. All I can say is from my own anecdotal data. But that's the thing. All of this shit needs more data. I need more data before I would want to say anything about fucking matchups and tier lists. Like, I just want to see it. I need to see it more. That's one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to with Combo Breaker this weekend. I want to see how characters do out there in the wild. And we just need more data before we get crazy with fucking anything like that. Maybe this shit's awesome. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's broken. Who knows? We don't know yet.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Let me see. Was there anything else as far as ranked or tier list you want to talk about?
Really with ranked, the only thing I was going to say with ranked is I like them both. I like ranked a lot. I like offline matches a lot. When it comes to actually learning matches, becoming a better player, I prefer doing the long sets with Cyborg and Redman and you. I think that's so much more important to skill building. But I think ranked is super important too, because when I play ranked, I actually have something to lose. I'm actually playing a stranger, and I feel like I personally lose something if I lose the match. That's the real test of how good I am. One is skill honing, one is skill testing. So I think if I ever did tournaments, ranked would be invaluable. Getting that tournament mindset, I think ranked plays a huge part in that, because even though you're only losing arbitrary points, I've trained myself to value those points, so I actually feel a sense of dread, a sense of like stressfulness if I'm losing a match, and trying to deal with that stressfulness is really important to being competent in a tournament situation. So that's all I have to say about that.
That's a great point, because that's a side effect that's hard to avoid when you're playing people in longer sets or whatnot, because like, even if you are playing like player matches and you get matched up with someone that you guys have good matches and you go for a while, by the end of that, like, you've gotten to know each other enough, even if it's just their gameplay, where you're not as invested in it at that point. Whereas for some reason, and especially like if I'm playing you guys, I'm not gonna feel that invested if I get fucking wrecked or some shit. But if I go play a random one-off, that's the most competitive shit I've ever done in my life. Like, fucking, I'm so invested in who wins this stupid ranked match, because I don't know this motherfucker, and we only get one shot. Like, the stakes just go so much higher, whereas if I lose, to one of you guys, like, it's not that big of a deal, so I'm just not as invested. It's interesting. It's a fun, it's a thing. Absolutely, both are valuable.
And there's also things I would do in a casual match I would never do in a tournament match. So sometimes I'll beat my opponent in an online private match, because I was doing things as an experiment, or I was doing things to kind of gauge my opponent's reactions. I wouldn't do that shit in a tournament match. Like some of the stuff I do to Redman or Cyborg or you, I'm not gonna fucking try that. Like,
no, because your top priority is winning in those environments.
Exactly, and it's a very different approach. So I think ranked definitely has its place. You need both for sure. And for a long time, I only had ranked. I didn't have long extended private sets before. That's something very recent with MKX.
And man, now that they finally jumped on the fucking bandwagon 80 years later as far as netcode goes, like, it's so much, it's great. It's so fucking great. If I could have played MK9 Sub-Zero in anything close to this netcode, I don't know. That would have been crazy. And that is still
lamentable. I wish we had a more viable version of MK9. That does break my heart.
I do too, man. Like, fucking, it's still like so much fun in that game. Fucking matches with Sub-Zero versus Liu Kang, Sub-Zero versus Johnny Cage. Like, it was so much fun in that game, and to be able to do it where it feels right, and to be able to like do the things you want to do when you want to do them. Like, you see them going something and you can react, and you can actually play the game instead of predicting the game. Like, it's a whole different thing, and that's the thing that kind of blew my mind whenever I first learned that the dick stick is in this game. I've never had anywhere near as much fun in any fighting game as I did playing Nightwing in Injustice 1. And the idea of, I've said this a billion times, getting that staff in this game and being able to play with decent netcode, it's the best of possible timelines. I don't know what could be better. Especially since Sub-Zero is coming later. Like, this is crazy. This isn't even real. I can play all this shit, all my favorites. It's like the greatest hits with great netcode. It's crazy.
It's nice. No, I agree. It's a good time to be a fighting game player. It's a fantastic fucking time.
It's just, everyone be happy. Just chill the fuck out there and take a minute. Be thankful. It's Thanksgiving on Memorial Day. Guys, listen, seriously. Let's fucking Robin, okay? Let's fucking talk about this shithead. I usually like to, I'm a big fan of the downplay. I've done it before. I'll do it again. It's one of my favorite aspects about not just fighting games, but like, you know, the whole whatever surrounding that community, that whatever. It's interesting, and it's useful too. I'm gonna be honest for a little bit here, mostly honest. It's not something I do very often. This character is great. This character is fucking sick. As soon as I started playing him, I was like, this character feels fucking weird. It took a while, and it sounds like I'm not the only one who thought that about characters. But and I still have, you know, I still have my problems with him, but I was really worried about playing a sword character because I've never, I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me. And like, he is sword. Damien, like,
he's just a walking sword.
I am sword.
Sword flipping to
that's his whole deal, man. That's his. Yeah, it's about, considering how sword he is, it's interesting that he leaves it there after every fight. Yeah, swords all day. No, like, once I started playing him and figuring things out, he was a lot like how we were talking about Scarecrow, about how, like, this is how Scarecrow should function, you know, as far as the character goes and whatnot. Like, Scarecrow shouldn't be punching you in the face and doing kung fu and shit. Nor should Scarecrow, like, be able to go toe-to-toe with like Superman lasers or Black Adam shit from a distance either. Like, that's where Scarecrow wants to be close so he can get you, but not too close so you can get him. Robin, it's the same thing. I feel once I got Robin, like, under my fingers and I started getting used to stuff, and I wasn't still, like, once I got into the flow of how this character works, I was like, this is how I wish Batman felt. Because Batman is just Batman doesn't feel that much like Batman to me. Batman feels like he's just a crazy good fighting game character in both of these games, both Injustice.
That's how I felt in the first one. I don't feel that way anymore.
Oh, do you not? That's interesting. I want to hear more about that, but there's so much we're going to talk about with this game. It's a mother box filled with just random goodies. You never know.
Nice tie-in.
Yeah, let me just open this one right quick.
I'm doing the same thing.
Listen, man, it's
I'm opening bronze.
All
Still
about
crossing
that
my
grind.
fingers for that damn plague man.
Yeah, bronze only, by the way, seems to be the way to go.
Yep.
But no. Yeah, he plays the way that I wish Batman did. Whereas, like, you have to be thinking ahead of what you're doing. You have to plan for shit. You got to set things up. And if you're ever caught where you don't have something going on, you're going to get blown up. If you ever lose momentum with Robin, he's in trouble. He's all about momentum. Like that. His trait was something that took a while for me to get used to too, because it's like, this teleport is not a teleport that you would use for in any other game, because obviously it's like, you know when he's gonna do it because the thing's out and it's bright yellow and it's beeping, and you know where he's gonna be if he uses it because it's right there. Right. So you can't really use it like you would other teleports. But the more I played and tried to figure it out, it's like, if you don't have that Birdarang out, one of them, you're not playing it right. You got to have that thing out all the time, doing something. And I've gotten more mileage out of that Birdarang than I have more mileage out of that Birdarang just being out to spook people, because they're like, okay, I won't go there. Or if I'm gonna teleport and they know it, then they'll go fucking teabag on that shit and they'll stay there. They'll camp out on that thing. And that's great. That's awesome. You can and it's the same thing with his air Birdarang. His air Birdarang, like I said before, it's like the best projectile in the world and the worst. If you hit him before that thing like does its loop, it just goes away. So you're not gonna there's no trading with that thing really. But if it does make the loop, it tracks, and it tracks really well. So I can deal with Superman way better than I could in the first game with Nightwing. Like, fucking Superman players, the scrubby ones that want to jump up in the corner and just laser you all day, that blows them up. I love that it tracks, but like I said, it's like, you can't use it, you can't just throw it out. So when you have the fucking other thing on the ground, you have a plan going, then you throw the other thing out, and it's like, it's more about mind games and making the other guy feel like they don't have as much room to do stuff as they actually do. And you know, there's some sick trait combos with the Birdarang too, both the explosion, but mostly with the blue one, whatever it's called. It's the same as Takeda's lightsaber sword callback. Might be a little better than that, but it's good. And Damian is all about that. He's all about combos. If he can ever open you up, he has like a billion ways to keep combos going and to hit you with that thing, and that sword gives him excellent range. He's very much like Scarecrow, where he wants to be in that middle range. He's got some okay mix-ups. They're not bad. He has good pressure too. Like, it's interesting. Like, he is good about that stuff, but he's not awesome at it. He's not Batman with his pressure. It's a different sort of thing, but it feels like this is how Robin should play. He can't stand full screen. That's not how he does stuff, but like, yeah, Robin should never stay full screen. Robins, I've posted this many places. Robins have a hype factor. Robins go in. That's just how it works. They're like Batman as far as, you know, they have the same basic tool sets. They have gadgets, and they are mostly melee-ish type fighters, but they're more hype than Batman, so they're going to run in. And that's the same thing I'm going to say about Red Hood later, why I don't want him to be a zoner, but it's the same here with Damian. He wants to run in, but he's got to dictate the momentum, and if he loses it, it's gone. But I am really liking this character. I'm liking this character way, 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 way more than I thought I was going to. He's so much fun to play. I love how much range the sword gives. It catches a lot of people off guard, which is great. It's I'm so happy, which
That's great to hear.
You guys
I'm happy that you're that happy with the character.
I am so happy that I'm that happy too. It's such a pleasant surprise. Like, I thought that until I got the dick stick that I was gonna be a fucking, like, you know, I was gonna be shitty about it, but I'm not. I'm it turns out that, like, once I do get the dick stick and I go into like player matches and whatever stuff where you can use abilities, when I can combine the sword with the staff and switch stances, that's a better character than I was with Nightwing. That's gonna be that's like, again, best of all possible realities. There's not gonna be this is gonna become my favorite fighting game character ever. He's so much fucking fun. But yeah, I was gonna say, because he's got that sword, I got Cryomancer's down 2 now, and boy, am I fucking using it. I'm spamming that uppercut all the time. It's so good. I love that thing. Just fucking anybody, like, I gotta get a little less scrubby with it, but it's so good. Like, people's jumping in or whatever, like, that down 2 is great. There was another one. What was it? His in his back 2. He gets so much good damage off of back 2. Back 3. And you really want that back 3. I think a lot of characters probably do, but it does such good damage in this game. But man, when you hit him with that back 3, it is fucking, you're playing golf. It's so much fun, and it hits so much farther. Like, the hitbox is crazy. It always it's good. I like having a character too that I'm like, man, I got some shit with this guy. I like this guy. This guy's hella fun. And I haven't been doing that well with them when I go online. I need to play online more. Obviously, this grind for the dig stick has been taking up too much time than it should, so I'm suffering for it when I do try to play competitively. Because still, like, the AI is super. It's way better now than it has been before in MKX or in NRS games. MKS was good too, but it's different when you're playing AI than it is people. It's always going to be different. So I have trouble carrying over, like, switching skills. Like, okay, I can't do the same combo to this other guy, and he's gonna fall for it every single time like the AI will. It's a different world. But man, it's that grind is fun with this guy, and I'm still having fun with him when I lose most of the time. Not always. I still do feel like his walk speed, is not as good as it should be, especially considering his other limitations as far as that sort of thing goes. It's interesting because he does have mobility options, but again, it's like Nightwing, where, like, with Nightwing, I used his Flying Grayson as a mobility tool a lot. And it was, as long as you use it at the right times, it was okay. And with Damien, it's the same thing. Like, his walk speed is not great, but he has more mobility options than Nightwing did. He's got the anime run, which is okay. It's not as good as I wish it was. It has a lot of startup, a lot of recovery. But his other tools, his that spinning move he got from Takeda, which looks and functions pretty much exactly the same, it is better than Takeda's. It's good. And I've gotten it's helped me out a lot as far as mobility goes and whatever. I gotta use his dive kick more. His dive kick is super weird, but that shit's better than I think it is. I need to use it more.
Yeah, that when I was playing against you, that shit was tripping me up, honestly. That Akuma command jump, it's fucking weird.
It's so fucking weird. It's like, it's weird because, like, it's so unintuitive for this game. Like, I don't want to commit to anything that much. And if I'm committing to, like, do a move where I can set the controller down and I'm going to jump and then move somewhere else on the screen and do all this shit, like, on autopilot, makes me feel nervous. I don't like committing that much. But when you actually do it, like, if you do it and you do it well, you can get a lot of stuff on it. And if you meter burn it like you're supposed to, you can do it back 3 and just go to fucking town. And this dude does some damage if he can ever open you up. I gotta work on my punishes, because this character punishes like a Jesus. Whenever he's done right, he punishes hard, and it's good. But yeah, I think that's about everything. He still has the worst super in the game, but, you know, who cares? That's cool.
I like it, but that's me. I think it's cool.
You know what? Right before we were doing this, I was doing his super a lot to go through those mini games things with it, and I like it more. Yeah. I like it more whenever I can, like, you know, time the heavy button with his swipes and feel like it's a little more interactive. It's fun, and it does more damage than I thought it did too. So I might should think about that. But that's true about everyone's supers in this game.
At least you're not playing Beetle, where his super is basically the computer just zooming in on his fucking normal ass chain combo. Like, that's all his fucking super is. It's him doing a chain combo with some camera angles, and then he shoots you.
Well,
like,
no, but that's
super.
interesting too. I feel like Robin's chain combos look way cooler than his super ones. Like, his super ones are just kind of slow, and he's just like slinging that sword around. But his chain combos are like, that's where he's stylish. He's throwing the sword around. He's doing some cool shit. But yeah, whatever. It does better damage than I thought it did, so I should probably use it more, especially with how much meter they give you in this game. But Robin needs his meter for meter burn rolls. That's a whole other thing that I'm getting, but I'm liking it. I really like that mechanic. I think it could probably stand to get a little bit of adjustment, but it's a really good addition, I think. The air tech thing, I'm digressing, I know, but the air tech thing is interesting. I want to see more data on that one, other people using it in the wild, but I don't know about that, especially since it uses 2 bars. That seems a little not worth the reward. Oh, especially, yeah, because there's no invincibility on it like there is the meter burn roll. So if I see anyone...
Yeah, you can do the air tech right back into the combo.
Yeah, and with Robin, someone like Robin who has that range anyway, and I can hit you with an uppercut almost anywhere. Like, yeah, I can catch you on the way down and just start fucking bouncing you up and down again. It's
which is hilarious.
I can fucking juggle people so well with that uppercut. It's so effective. It's like fucking playing weird tennis or some shit. But yeah, I'm having a blast with Robin, and I'm glad that I don't have to look too hard for like another main to really enjoy this character. I already got one. I'm gonna play more characters. I'm gonna play Sub-Zero when he drops, definitely. And I want to play Red Hood too because I'm a Robin fanboy. But even if this was
in terms of,
I'm very happy with my character. I'm wrapping that up. Okay, now I'm back to normal mode. Robin's trash. He needs buffs.
Well, you are very blessed that you have a very high-profile, very talented tournament player who is taking your character as far as he can. So you have a really nice just reading material in terms of how to sort of build your character. If you want like establish an architecture with Robin, you have a very good spearhead tournament player to do it
until he goes and makes him look super good, and they hit him with a Nerf bat. Like,
oh yeah, inevitably.
That's a blessing curse situation.
Yeah, I guess Beetle might get buffed to oblivion, and everyone's gonna be on top of that character like fucking I don't even know.
That was that was one of the cool things about Nightwing is like he never got touched, so it's like a stealth buff because everyone else kept getting nerfs and whatnot, and Nightwing got an adjustment like really late, and it wasn't a big one at all. I think his down one got they're finally like, you know what, his down one is too good when he's in staff stance. It was fucking good. And they nerfed that way later, but it was still super good.
That's what I like about Ivy is I haven't really seen anybody flock towards her. Like, she's not one of those top 10 most used characters, I don't think. And she's also a character that most casuals aren't going to use because she just feels so awkward at first that they're not gonna like what they're doing, so they're gonna go elsewhere.
That's another thing I like about Robin too. She. Damien's the same way. He doesn't feel good at first, like it does when you play Batman. Like Batman, you can jump in there and start hitting buttons and do stuff. And sure. Robin is like her, like you're saying, and it sounds like Scarecrow is probably similar. Like, they're not super jump in, play, have fun, friendly. Like, there needs to be like a little bit of commitment to use them well.
Right.
But yeah, that's
and no, I just want to agree with everything. I don't see either. I see a lot of people using Scarecrow and failing. I don't see many people using Ivy because a big part of Ivy's game is just spacing that forward 3. That's just such a big part, and you have to really go in kind of into an unsafe range to make that character work on everything, for her pressure, even for her zoning. You got to kind of leave yourself a bit open. So I don't see a whole lot of people flocking to Ivy.
Which is cool. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's great too. It's something that I liked when I heard that Robin wasn't easy to use because of the same reason. Like, the less they're on the radar, the better, because people are dumb and they're just going to train against fucking the high tier characters, and because of that, when you come at them at a character that isn't, you know, on paper somewhere as a high tier character, you blow them up because they didn't train for you. They don't know what they're doing. Whereas if you're playing, no, never mind. I'm fucking Supergirl sucks. But yeah, that's you know, what are you gonna do?
All right. Well, was there anything else you guys wanted to cover before we shut down?
Well, quick thoughts on Red Hood, just because I think we're all in agreement that we hope that he's not a full-on zoner, as you said before. We're hoping, I think all of us are in the same boat, that we hope that he uses his gun more in his combos rather than full screen. Maybe have at least one kind of shot like Harley has, where she can shoot full screen, but it's not the best zoning tool by any means. Hopefully the startup and the duration's not the quickest like Deadshot, so it's not something that you use. Like, it's not something that's going to be your main offense with him, is zoning. He should have it as purely just a backup option. When he's getting in, he has something to throw at his opponent. For when he's getting in, once he gets in sweep distance, then he's super deadly with his guns and his knife. I think that would be premier for all of us that are really hoping for Red Hood. So yeah, I look forward to swaggy combos using a lot of flips and dives and slides using his guns, and kicks where he like does a flip off the opponent, and then as he's back flipping, he's shooting his opponent in the face. Shit like that I think would be a lot of fun and super hype for the characters. So yeah, that's all my thoughts are on him.
Yeah,
and we're gonna see him soon enough. I don't feel like going too in depth.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see him. There's a lot of ways that they could take that character, and I mostly feel the same as you do about how he should work out. Tip, do you have any thoughts about Red Hood?
I just like the model. I think he's very well rendered.
Yeah,
I think he looks really cool.
I like his more minimalist design.
No,
just that's not something that everybody got in this game. I'm glad he has it.
Well, the Red Hood arc is my favorite Batman arc of all time, at least in film. In comics, not. Maybe, I don't know. I actually haven't read the Red Hood stuff. I'm reading the Death in the Family stuff right now, so we'll get there. But in terms of like my favorite like on-screen Batman adaptation, it's Under the Red Hood. So absolutely, I will definitely give that character a try.
Under the Red Hood is like,
I don't know when they'll do that.
Yeah. Everyone loves Under the Red Hood. That shit was sick.
Yeah, that movie was phenomenal.
And
the only thing I may do is wait a little while, because if Shadowloo's definitely going to be going all over Red Hood, and obviously you guys are interested in the character, so I will, if available, I will play Starfire first, and then later, when everyone's kind of Red Hooded out, I'll take my place in line.
Well, they're being released separately, like probably with a 2 or 3 week gap as they usually have been, so I mean, you got time either way, but yeah, I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm not learning characters at lightning speed, and I still need to pick up Bane and Atrocitus, so...
Sure, I'm in kind of the same boat.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting to do any maining of Red Hood either, even though he is a Robin, and like you said, I hope they maintain that stuff, and I think they will. Stuff where, like, I don't think he should be able to rely on his guns full screen to win matches. That's not something I feel's in character with him. Like, yeah, he uses his guns for fucking all kinds of shit, but Jason's fucking nuts, and he would rather like beat your face in if he can. So like he feels like a character that's gonna want to go in.
Yeah.
That's where he's going to excel, and he can. And there's a billion ways he could do it. I'm interested to see what his trait might end up being. The cool thing he does in the only trailer we've seen with him in it, at the end where he's like running and does the flip or something, that would be a cool thing he could have to maybe get around projectiles a little bit. Like, it has an invincibility period there in the middle. I think shit like that would be very fitting for him, because he's hype, he's crazy, like he wants to go in and do crazy shit, and he's
maybe his trait could be like, I'd like to see more variety in traits. Maybe his trait could be something like a free meter burn roll. Like, as the bar fills up, maybe it's like an extra. Like, I still think somebody's trait could be like just an extra bar of meter that fills up. So you can use that meter however you'd like, but it's just one additional bar. I think something like that would be really interesting.
I think that's a good. That's a good idea. Using his trait as either a meter or something like that, specifically focused on
getting in.
Yeah,
I think
on getting in.
Getting in on zoners I think would be awesome. To just have him be super neutral rush down where he's just fucking super quick to wreck your shit, I think would be a lot of fun.
It's like, what's his trait? Crazy. It fills up and he just fucking, he doesn't give a fuck. Fucking bullets whizzing by his head. Fucking lightning bolts from Black Adam. Jason doesn't give a fuck. He's going in. It's a fucking, shit. It was some Rebirth shit, I think, recently. I was reading, he's had like a messed up, or a makeshift bat cave or whatever in the middle of the city. It was not a bat cave. And he's like sitting there like checking out the computer, trying to do some detective-y shit, staring at it. I'm probably butchering this because I don't remember it super well, but it's basically what it was. He's trying to look at some shit on the mayor or something there in Gotham, and it's like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not the detective Robin. And then like it cuts to him driving the motorcycle into the dude's fucking office. Like, yeah, that's how Jason solves his problems. He fucking just, fuck you, I'm going in. I'll see you when I get there. And I hope that comes through in his gameplay. And I think it will.
Yeah, I think finesse is a big part of Red Hood as well. One of my favorite lines from Under the Red Hood, and I don't think this spoils anything, but I mean, if we haven't already said already, but there's a scene where Batman's analyzing the Red Hood footage, and Dick Grayson's like, "Did you see him cut that line?"
Yeah.
They do it in slow motion. It's like, you don't just do that on reaction. That has to be practiced. That has to be trained. And Batman goes, and also the knife. And then Dick Grayson goes, what about the knife? And Batman just turns around fully and says, how many knives do you know can cut my line? So I hope that's his trait. I hope he can cut really strong lines. I hope that's...
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, that's the kind of cool thing about Red Hood is he has all the training and all the benefit and all the skill, like, very precise skill that comes with, you know, working under Batman, being a Robin. It's like fucking one of the most grueling things one could have probably imagined in a comic book setting. Like, fucking working directly under that guy is he's probably got some high standards. So yeah, that all that shit has to come out. Finesse, big time. But with Jason, like, you know, that's his specialty. He's like, he's got all that finesse and all that precision and all that shit wrapped up in a ball of crazy. With a gun.
I hope his super is he just, like, he ties himself up into a chair and he just tells his opponent, beat me up, do it, spit in my face, hit me with the crowbar, it's in the cabinet over there.
Yeah, if I can hand them the crowbar and be like, bring
just
it.
like old times, come on.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Red Hood.
I imagine like a sadomasochist.
He's, no matter what, like...
Yeah. Break my leg.
He's got to be hype. Like, that's the big thing about that character. He's got to be fun. He's got to be exciting. Yeah.
I don't. With a model that good, I'm willing to forgive a lot if he's not, though. If he's not like over the top, or if he's not even like that interesting from a gameplay perspective, the design is so good. I'm prepared to forgive anything really. We'll see, though. I mean, I say that now, but
I don't. Yeah, I don't disagree.
With better normals.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we gotta be ready for anything.
I'm really like I'm not expecting Deadshot from him. I'm expecting Aaron Black from him, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm expecting something like Aaron. I mean, I think even the image hints towards he's gonna have some of Aaron Black's moveset in there.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like, Aaron Black couldn't. He wasn't about standing full screen and shooting his revolvers at you. That's not how he used those things. And I'm hoping it's the same with Red Hood. Like, he can pistol whip you to death with those things. He can do more than shoot you with them.
Right. I'm in agreement. I think we're going to get a lot of that inspiration for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. We'll know fucking this weekend. I'm psyched. Let's, you know, I had this idea. Listen, I don't care. I'm talking about production a little bit on the air. That's fine. This is Warrior Shrine. I had this idea of asking Temp a question, fighting game related. Technical question, because so I can learn, but it's also a good way to close this out because I don't like the way I close these things out ever. Just help it fix it for me. But I did no preparation.
Okay.
I did no preparation, whatever. So I'm going to hit you with this. Only preparation I did was preparation H.
That's important.
It's
dude. That works. That'll get you far.
That's a lifesaver.
You can suppress it. You can't cure it.
Okay, but I'm not going to ask you about your colon health. That's not the question I got lined up for you here.
This is nothing more than a public service announcement.
Tip, explain to me and everyone else who may not know, what exactly is an Okazemi? Okazemi is the proper
Okay,
pronunciation,
yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah, I say Okazemi.
Now,
I usually
we know
say
that-
Oki for short.
yeah. Oki's definitely the safest. We know that Tom Brady is infamous for his masterful
Okey-doke.
pronunciation of Okazumi, but I believe it's Okazemi. But go ahead and what the fuck is Okazemi, Tim?
Okazemi is your post knockdown game. So basically, it's the reverse of a wake up game. Wake up game is when you've been knocked down and you're trying to get out of a bad situation with either a wake up attack or by just good blocking or by backdashing. Okazemi is when you've knocked down your opponent, and then you have to decide: do I want to bait out a wake up? Do I want to do a melee attack? A melee attack is when you start your attack, so the active frames are there when your opponent's when their hurt box is active again. So basically just doing a chain combo on knockdown so that it hits and it doesn't whiff while they're still on the ground.
You do not have a God-given right to get off the ground.
You can cross up to fuck with their inputs. I mean, you can also kind of dance in the mid-range so they don't know what you're going to do, and you can either dash up or you can zone them out, or you can just run. Sometimes the best Okazemi is just getting out of the fucking corner, just respacing yourself. I do that a lot in Killer Instinct. Oki is what I call it for sure. I didn't know what Okazemi was for the first like 2 years. I called it Oki because that's what all the Street Fighter 4 players said. So the term really becomes relevant when you start picking characters, because sometimes it's worth, when you're trying to find out what style you play, it's worth finding a character that has good Oki. Because I mean, Scorpion, a big part of his game in MK9 was just setting up that vortex. So once you get a knockdown, your opponent's probably going to be sweating. Because he only needs that one back three or that one back two. And if he knows that you're going to do a back three or back two, they're going to wake up and he can bait up like an Ermac Teleslam. And it's just, yeah, Oki is a very fun part of fighting games. It's not for everybody. Some people just want to like pick Sagat and throw tiger shots. That's cool though. That's cool.
No, I'm not. No, nothing against Sagat players. That's cool. And Dragon Punches are always great for Okazemis. If you're on the receiving end and you're worried about your situation. Not everyone has a Dragon Punch. I'm happy that Robin has a DP pretty much though. That's fucking sick.
That is a little more trivia. Okazemi is actually a Korean term. It comes from the Korean Tekken scene. Yep.
Wow.
It is of the Korean language.
I didn't know that. I was right there with you with everything else you said, but I am so happy that I got to learn something too. Korean. Wow.
Yeah, Korean Tekken's amazing. Like, if you ever have the time, it's good.
To watch it, maybe. Like, Tekken's terrifying to me. Jesus Christ. That sounds painful.
I was watching a video where Eris was talking about some advice he got from some of the Korean players, and one of the Korean players said, the topic was, how do you get good at Tekken? And one of the statements from the Korean players was, well, you're going to suck for the first 2 years, and that made me never want to play Tekken ever
Absolutely,
again.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, it's just
just 2 years? Holy shit.
And they all talk about like how much like, well, if you want to be really good, you need to have Tekken roots. You need to have played this game. If you're just picking it up, you're gonna be trash. If this is your first Tekken, you're gonna be fucking garbage. And he's probably true. It's probably right. Like, if you have those built-in fundamentals over the years, like that game is intimidating. That's a fucking intimidating fighting game.
And there's so much more frame data than any other fighting game out there too. It's not like Injustice where
Harada
you learn
is
everyone's
like,
down one and you're halfway there. Yeah.
Harada's like, do I want to give you frame? No. I don't. Like, no, you can't have frame data. You can.
Nope,
I'm not telling you anything.
He's picky about that shit. He's stingy about that shit.
That dude's a hard ass. But that's the game. And those people that play it, they work for it, and it's fun to see. It's really fun to see. It's interesting. I did not know that was a Korean. I could have sworn that was. I always thought that was Japanese, but. I love learning things. That was...
Well, let's find out if I'm wrong or not. Now I'm second guessing myself.
Fact check. If you're wrong, I swear to God, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna hit the stop button.
Fucking sweating over here.
You're probably right. I mean, it just sounds like a Japanese word to me too. But I don't fucking know shit about Korean. Cyborg, what do you know about Korea?
I'm pretty sure it's Korean. I can't verify right now, but I'm almost positive it's Korean.
Korean barbecue is good.
It's so good.
That's what I was about to
North
ask.
Korea is probably not a good place to go.
No?
At least not long term. You don't want to live there.
Glenn from The Walking Dead is Korean.
Oh no, it is Japanese. Okay, my bad. Or it's Japanese term at least.
Uh-oh. See?
Oh man, is this blow ups?
No, it's cool. It's fine. You got that was like 99%, 100%. No, that was 100% correct. I didn't ask you about the etymology about it. I asked you what it was, and you
damn,
you crushed it.
Bodied. It is actually it is Japanese. Oh no, translation for Okazumi from Japanese was not found. We're gonna revisit this next time.
We will, or you guys can tell us about it in the comments. You know.
Oh yes, no, yeah, blow us up in the comments.
You guys
Blow me
can fucking do some work. Get off your asses. If you haven't, come join the guilds. Also, just a quick shout out. I kicked some dudes earlier, and I raised the minimum level to 10. That might not be, you know, whatever, but hey, we got standards, and we want active people. So, but help us out, man. I'd love to play with you guys. I would love to play some like guild, you know, King of the Hills, and get shit like that going sometime. That'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, man, Okazumis, everybody, use them. You're gonna be using them in this game. Think about it. Say bye, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.